those guys with their parents out there. 39 seniors honored today. What will you remember about this class?
Well, I think they helped us build the consistency in how we go to work every day. And within your program, you need that group of guys that show how to do it every single day. And that's really what we got from these seniors.
Manti Te'o, obviously a great linebacker. There's another one you're going to see today in Boston College's Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
What do you worry about in facing a player like him?
Well, both of them are going to be all over the place, and you know that. It's just, you know, I think you got to manage the game and know that they're going to make their plays, but it's going to be incumbent that we find other ways to score points because those guys are going to be all over the place.
Tom, Notre Dame playing its final game here at Notre Dame Stadium today.
All right, Alex. Tom Hammond and Mike Mayock here for Senior Day. And as we think of the Notre Dame seniors and how their final year has gone, the first guy that pops into my mind is Jonas Gray, who began on such a disastrous note, a fumble return for a touchdown against South Florida, but then has had an outstanding rest of the season.
At 235 pounds and great feet, he's always had talent, but this year he finally put it together. 7 yards a carry, monster week last week against Maryland, 21 for 136. And for me, what he's done is he's changed the balance of the Irish offense. Now, Michael Floyd, you want to talk about a year, 77 catches, 7 touchdowns, but I really think the kid has grown up. He lives on campus in a dorm with freshmen. He's practiced every day like a walk-on trying to get better, and he's really gone from a question mark in August to perhaps the finest wide receiver in college football.
And certainly the best in Notre Dame history. He rewrote the record book, as we said earlier. Now, Boston College has struggled. They're only 3-7. But as we mentioned a few moments ago, you're going to see one of the best linebackers in all of college football, Luke Kuechly.
And you want to talk about production. 168 tackles so far this year in 10 games, 509 tackles in his career. He might look like Clark Kent, but Tom, he plays like Superman. 16 tackles today, and he'll become the all-time leading tackler in Boston College history.
And on offense, the Eagles in recent games have had a 2-quarterback rotation, Chase Riddick and Josh Bordner, who's more of a runner. Is that right?
Yeah, and Riddick was really a pretty highly recruited kid out of California. His numbers don't really indicate his talent level. They need better effort and production from him today. Bordner's a change of pace. They use him a lot like a Tim Tebow. He's 6'4", 225, and what they do is they go into a single back with him standing back there, power, counter, draw, and they change it up.
All right, the only 2 major Catholic universities playing FBS football. It's Boston College and Notre Dame. Irish have won the last 2 meetings and lead the series overall, but BC has taken 6 of the last 8 meetings. Boston College wins the opening toss and elects to defer to the second half, so it'll be Notre Dame's football to get the game underway. And there are the green pom-poms handed out today for the Kelly Foundation of Hockey Kelly and Brian Kelly. Ryan Quigley is teeing it up and getting ready to kick it off. So Quigley will kick off, and of course deep will be Collinsworth and Atkinson. George Atkinson with 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns this season, 96 and 89 yards. Boston College and Notre Dame, and we're underway. Deep into the end zone, Atkinson will down it there. So as Notre Dame comes out on a chilly afternoon with a threat of rain a little later on, but so far dry, our Adidas starting lineups for the Notre Dame offensive line. And as you see, Mike Golick at center will get his 2nd career start. And of course the last home game for Mike Floyd, Notre Dame's all-time #1 receiver. Irish will begin from the 20.
Be very interesting to see if they play at the same tempo as a week ago against Maryland, where they were snapping the football in their no-huddle offense about every 15 seconds.
There's a noticeable increase of the tempo against the Terrapins and worked to good advantage for the Irish. Here's a handoff to Jonas Gray on first down. And a tough yard and a half before who else? Kuechly makes the tackle. And flags fly late as a little skirmish broke out. T.J. Jones and Donnie Fletcher appear to be involved.
The game was more than 1 pending the penalty.
So we'll sort out the penalty. It's an Atlantic Coast Conference crew here today, headed by Brad Allen.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 4, the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it is Donnie Fletcher called for the foul. ACC crew, this is, of course, the third straight game against an ACC opponent for the Irish.
There's Fletcher right there, a little shot to the helmet.
Just across the 36.
And you know what's interesting, Tom, on the opening kickoff, Kuechly's on the kickoff team. He almost got in a little fight because he was double teamed by Notre Dame people.
Here's Gray again, and Jonas nearly breaks free. He does have a first down close to midfield. A gain of 11, first down Notre Dame. Hampton Hughes saved further damage for the Eagles.
If you're going to run against this team, Boston College, there's the guy you got to get. Running right at Kuechly. The center, Golick, does a good job getting the body on him. Big play.
Blitz comes from the Eagles and deflecting the first pass attempt by Tommy Rees this afternoon. Kevin Pierre-Louis was coming on the blitz for the Eagles. Here's the way BC lines up on defense, our Adidas starting lineups. Holloway's dad and brother have NFL experience. He has 7.5 career sacks. Kuechly, for the second straight year, leads the FBS in tackles. And in the secondary, Fletcher, a senior captain, but though flagged for a 15-yard penalty already in this game. Tommy Rees. Pass complete. It's to TJ Jones. TJ has about 5 yards. As the Irish move into BC territory.
BC traditionally, under defensive coordinator Billy McGovern, have been fairly conservative. They're not going to let you get over top. They're going to make you earn every single yard, and they figure you're going to have a penalty or a turnover before you consistently drive 80.
So on 3rd and 5, here's Tommy Rees with good protection, crossing around underneath to Jonas Gray. Jonas breaks the tackle, hauled down finally at the 35-yard line by Dominic Apia. A gain of 12 and a first down on the pass from Rees to Gray.
Just a little crossing route by Jonas Gray, and what I like is the combination of power and speed. Drops it down, watch him run through the arm tackle. It's Kuechly and it's Fletcher. He stays on his feet. Big play.
Blitz comes from the corner, passing right to Floyd from the vacated spot, and he goes out of bounds short of the 30-yard line, chased out by Hughes.
And Notre Dame's going to have to be patient. Boston College probably not going to let you up top. They won't take many chances, so they're going to have to grind it out on the ground. Some of the bubble screens and underneath routes that we've seen so far.
Empty backfield for Rees on 2nd down. And again, they go underneath to Jones. TJ thrown back by the BC defenders, short of the first down, it would appear.
Like Dylan Quinn and Kuechly. Tom, I spoke with Frank Spaziani, the head coach, before the game, and he said to me, Mike, I want you to think about Sisyphus today. And I said, what? He said, yeah, the old Greek god. He said the one that had to roll the boulder all the way up to the top of the hill, and just before he got there, it would roll back down, and he'd keep doing it. He said, that's what we got today. We got to keep rolling that boulder up the hill.
And hoping they can eventually get it up there, I guess.
Exactly.
As the Irish with a 3rd and 1, 2 tight ends. Rees from the shotgun with a handoff to Jonas Gray. Cuts back, has a first down and more for the touchdown. Jonas Gray is 12th touchdown of the season. Nice run for 25 yards on Senior Day. Jonas Gray.
That's pretty cool. Senior day for a couple of seniors. Watch Taylor Dever, the right tackle, a senior. Pull and get up in the hole for the next senior that we'll talk about, Jonas Gray. There's the pull in the hole. Great block. He absolutely tons Kevin Pierre-Louis. Touchdown.
Got a block from Zach Martin as well. Officially 26 yards on the touchdown run by Gray as Ruffer attempts the extra point and boots it through. So the Irish, on their opening drive of the game, march down the field to take a 7-0 lead on Boston College. Jonas Gray with the score. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual, the power to predict your own financial future. By the all-new Volkswagen Passat, 2012 Motor Trend Car of the Year. By Coca-Cola Zero, real Coke taste and 0 calories. And by Sprint, all football, no limits, only from Sprint. time-lapse photography of the walk over to Notre Dame Stadium today, and now inside the stadium with the Kelly Foundation green pom-poms flying in honor of Jonas Gray. Scored the touchdown. 8 straight games now with a rushing TD and a dozen on the season. Hadn't scored a touchdown until this, his senior season. Brisner with a kick to Spiffy Evans. And he'll be gang tackled as he crosses the 25-yard line, where BC will put it into play from scrimmage for the first time in the game. Adidas starting lineups. First for the Boston College offense with Mark Spinney, the senior captain, makes all the line calls for the Eagles. And Swigert is the top receiver. He has 35 catches this season. Boston College will put it in play from the 26-yard line. Facing a 7-0 deficit, Chase Reddick is the quarterback, a sophomore from Sierra Madre, California, hitting 53% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Play action fake, and he passes complete. It's to Chris Pentelli, the tight end, and Pentelli with a first down gain that puts BC pretty much on target. Gary Gray made the tackle. As you look at the numbers for Reddick.
Watched that tape last week, their victory over North Carolina State. Tom, in the first half, he was a completely different guy than in the second half. In the first half, 7 for 8 for 114. In the second half, 2 for 5 for 4 yards. And that's kind of the trials and tribulations of a young quarterback.
Second down and 4. This is a handoff to Andre Williams. Stopped by Manti Te'o as Williams got the start today. He's a sophomore from Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, averaging 4.3 yards a carry this season. 92nd
tackle of the year for Te'o. 2 of the best linebackers in the country, regardless of year. They're both natural juniors. Te'o and Kuechly are as good as it gets in college football. They both see it, they trust it, and they pull the trigger.
And both will have a decision to make at the end of the season whether or not to enter the NFL draft a year early.
Exactly right.
And both say they won't consider that till the season has run its course. Third down. Riddick's pass to Bobby Swigert. And Swigert made a nice catch right at the first down marker. The pass appeared to be a bit off target, but Swigert able to haul it in. And we'll see if it's enough for the first down.
3-man rush. They still get significant pressure. Swigert with great hands. Watch a lot of their tape, but he catches everything. Let's see if he keeps it off the ground with the hands underneath. Looks like that left arm is trying to cradle it underneath. That could be worth a replay. And let's face it, they've got a lot of time here because we've got a measurement on the field. Really good pressure with only a 3-man rush.
If it stands, it is enough for a first down. And here's a closer look.
See, look at the left arm and elbow, Tom. He kind of rolls the ball over it, and his body tries to protect it. But I think we're going to get another look at this upstairs.
It looked to me like he had his hand under the point of the football to keep it from touching the ground.
Right, and that's what I thought. I thought it was the point of the ball that then rolled onto the crook of the arm. But gosh, it's hard to see.
Steve McBride and Dominic Lombardo from the Big East are today's replay officials. They're going to review this play, and we'll take a break. Back at Notre Dame, where Boston College has had a review of what was a first down reception by Swigert, ruled so on the field, but replay says the ball hit the ground, incomplete pass, 4th down, and a punting situation for Boston College on their first possession of the game.
And fairly significant because Notre Dame receives the opening kickoff, marches all the way down, scores, and now it's going to be a 3-and-out for Boston College as opposed to what would have been a first down.
So Ryan Quigley in punt formation, and John Goodman is deep for Notre Dame. Goodman with a catch of Quigley's punt at the 31-yard line, where Notre Dame takes over for the second time already, leading by 7. Now let's take a look at the Miller Lite Taste Greatness. And here are some of the great linebackers in college football history. Dick Butkus, of course, was one of those, and another future Chicago Bear, Mike Singletary, 15 a game. Chris Spielman at Ohio State, 13 a game. Ray Lewis, 12.5 tackles a game in 31 games. And how does Luke Kuechly rank? Well, as you see, right with those guys at 14.1. Interesting to note that both Manti Te'o and Luke Kuechly think Ray Lewis is their idol, their prototype linebacker. Sierra Wood gets his first carry of the game and rips off a 9-yard gain.
Boy, they're doing a great job up front neutralizing the Boston College front. Remember, Boston College has one senior on their starting defense, very young on both sides of the ball, and Notre Dame is just punishing them up front.
Notre Dame, which had exquisite run pass balance in their win over Maryland a week ago, running the football pretty much at will so far on BC. There's a nice play by the Eagle defense as it's Kuechly that stops Sierra Wood, and we'll see where they mark it. Looks like he is short of the first down.
We get penetration from Max Ritchie. Here's Kuechly. The penetration helps him out. You see him, he's going to take up two guys, force the bounce right to Kuechly. So Kuechly is the beneficiary of the really good, strong play up front of Max Ritchie.
It is short of the first down, 3rd down and 1. Reese keeps it, a slam to the turf. But the mark appears to give him the first down.
Don't typically see a quarterback get racked like that on a quarterback sneak. Real good penetration from the tackle tight end gap by Boston College, but still a Notre Dame first down.
Last week against Maryland, Reese hitting on 79% of his pass attempts. First down, Irish, 42-yard line. They already lead BC 7-0 opening quarter.
The run strength is down here. The pass strength is up here. Tommy Reese sees something and decides he's going to change the call at the line of scrimmage.
Meanwhile, BC changes, comes with a blitz that they pick up, and Floyd is wide open. He was so wide open, there wasn't a man within 20 yards of him.
Yeah, there's a busted coverage with those young corners out there, corner and safety. Here's Michael Floyd. Let's see what happens. Floyd's here. Corner's pressing, expecting help. There is no safety here or here. Corner was clearly expecting help. Michael Floyd, I know it's little. I'd love to see him extend for that. Dive for it, see if you can get the, even though you can't run after that, love to see you extend.
Here they made the one-handed stab, but couldn't quite get there. Here's another wide open man, and it is a one-handed stab by Tyler Eifert. Eifert, like an outfielder, gathers it in with one hand for 38 yards.
Wow, what great catch. The pass protection was beautiful off a safety blitz. Watch what happens. Look at Sierra Wood step up, and the cut block right there, phenomenal cut block. And then you can't teach this, folks. You either have great hands or you don't. Eifert with the grab.
Irish in business again. Hook and lateral to Toba. Lateraled it back to Wood. Kuechly said, nah, that's not going to work.
Look at him talking now. You know, the one thing, and I mentioned this earlier about both linebackers, when they see something, Tom, they trust it, and man, they go. And nobody's better in college football than trusting it and accelerating to the play than that kid right there. That was really special.
Toba lateraling it back to Sierra Wood, and Kuechly would have nothing of it. Reese rolls, delivers, intercepted, and dropped. Donnie Fletcher had it in his hands at the goal line and dropped it.
When you are a big underdog, these are the kind of plays you absolutely have to make. Watch what happens down here. Fletcher, who's a senior, does a good job whirling in zone coverage. It's just a center fielder's turn. Eye back on the ball. Now you got to make the play here. You cannot drop that football. And what happened, Tom, is because he started toward the post, Tommy Reese thought he was going to continue to go, whirled around, stayed in his zone, loved everything about it, but you got to finish the play.
Notre Dame with a timeout, leading BC by 7. First quarter at Notre Dame, final home game of the season for the Irish, who close out with a visit to Stanford next week. They lead Boston College 7-0 with 8:25 to go. First quarter, now facing a 3rd and 13 at the 23-yard line of the Eagles.
Now this calls for a run play. BC's playing pass. There's not enough people in the box. Let's see if Tommy throws it though on 3rd and 12.
And he will. Through the hands of his intended receiver, Sierra Wood. Throw was high and incomplete. And looks like a field goal attempt upcoming for David Ruffer, the senior. We enjoyed talking with David yesterday. Shared a moment with his dad earlier this season, or his dad, who is a Notre Dame grad. David started out at William & Mary, then transferred, was not on scholarship, was kicking in the dorm when he was discovered by an assistant coach. Has had a storybook Notre Dame career and has shared it all with his dad. 40-yard field goal attempt. Ruffer from 40 kicks it through. David Ruffer writing another chapter to a typical Notre Dame storybook career. The walk-on, now on scholarship, made good. So it ups the lead to 10-0 over Frank Spaziani and the Boston College Eagles. Spaziani, of course, well-liked by players and BC fans. He's pretty much old school. Began as a player and then graduate assistant at Penn State. His coaching career continued at the Naval Academy when he was an assistant coach. Was at UVA as an assistant, then defensive coordinator, before he went to the Canadian Football League for a few years. Then back to be defensive coordinator at BC and named the Eagles head coach January 13th of 2009.
He was teasing me on the field before the game that I wouldn't listen to him when he was trying to recruit me to Navy. But he's a guy that everybody likes. He's a neighborhood guy. And Tom, what I like about him, aside from he's a grinder, his work ethic, you know, we all know that. But he's been on both sides of the football. When he got to BC, he was the running back coach. When he was in Canada, he was the offensive coordinator for Doug Flutie. Everybody's perception is he's a defensive guy, but he's paid his dues on both sides of the ball.
And he was saying, you know, the coaching changes, the coaching carousel at BC sort of hurt their recruiting, and recruiting, of course, the lifeblood of college programs, and they had a little bit of a setback. What would be juniors and seniors now leading his team are non-existent, basically. Just a few, just a handful. So playing a lot of young players and taking some lumps. From the 2, Spiffy Evans. Twisting and turning, and finally taken down at the 25-26-yard line.
Now, for the record, Tom, if I'm a kick returner, I want to be named Spiffy. What do you think?
Well, you got to live up to it, though. I mean, your returns have to be kind of spiffy. Flag on the play, as you see. Here's the call.
During the return, holding receiving team number 19. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Sean Sylvia.
Guilty of the hold. Go to Notre Dame Extra on NBCSports.com, where you can see all the action, including an online-only bonus camera, in-game highlights, live coverage of the halftime bands, and an online-only post-game show. Go now to NBCSports.com/Indy Extra, presented by Mercedes-Benz. So first down now from the 17 for Boston College, and Kimball gets his first carry at running back. Taj Kimball, a redshirt freshman from Fernandina, Florida Beach, or Fernandina Beach, Florida. Sure, excuse me. 5'11", 210 pounds. Has played in 8 games. This is his 9th. Carried for 104 yards thus far. See some other scores. Wisconsin with a win, and surprising what Michigan did to Nebraska at the Big House. Michigan State, as expected, rolling over Indiana. South Carolina over the Citadel. Riddick with a play-action fake. Fires complete. Pass caught by Colin Larmond. And he has a first down for Boston College. Zeke Mott stopping him, but not until Larmond with his 32nd catch of the season. Here's our Adidas starting lineups for the Notre Dame defense. Second game back for Johnson after that ankle injury that hampered him for a while, and Manti Te'o fighting through an ankle injury as well. One of the game's top linebackers. And Harrison Smith, his last home game, quarterback of the secondary. Kimball 35-yard line, just across it. Trent Shembo with a stop.
And if you could dial up an offense that BC would prefer to run under Coach Spaziani, it would look something like this. Power football, multiple tight ends, little bootleg like we saw in that last play, check it down under, and grind it out. That's what Coach Spaziani grew up with at Penn State. That's what he's most comfortable with. But, Tom, when that kid number 20 is in the game, beware. That's a defensive alert. He catches the football extremely well.
Carry for Kimball again. Tripped up, but he picks up a first down. Mata was able to stop a further gain, but he falls forward for a first down for Boston College.
I like this Kimball kid. He's got a little bit of a different gear than the other two backs. Rolandon Deuce Finch, who's played an awful lot. Andre Williams. I understand what kind of, they're good, smart, tough backs, but this kid's got a different gear, both in the run and pass game.
Our first down line brought to you by Xerox. First down for the Eagles from the 42-yard line. Again, it's Kimball. Kimball getting a workout since coming in on this series. And a good first down gain.
And Tom, he's not in there to pass protect. If he's in there, he's going to carry the football or he's going to catch the football. But because of that different gear, he gives BC something they don't have, a make-you-miss Sierra Wood type of player.
Second down and 5. Kimball 4 carries, 22 yards now, as the Eagles go with 2 tight ends, Pantelli and Anderson.
This is a balanced set, tight end on either side, flanker on either side. It's a check with me, which means the quarterback's calling a play at the line of scrimmage.
And he calls a play-action fake and a pass attempt. He did find a man, but short of the first down. It was Teo that blasted Kimball after he made the catch. Kimball can't catch the ball, as you say. That's his 8th catch. But Teo made sure that no further damage done here.
Wow. Here he is. They're looking for a deep route on a corner route. Notre Dame takes it away, but look at the kid, check it down. Nice job by Reddy, find him, and then Teo just absolutely cleans the play up, drives on it, right on the shoulder pad. That's a picture book takedown.
Teo, will this be his final home game as well? Will he declare for the draft after his junior season? Third down and 3. Pass deflected and incomplete.
Looked like Aaron Lynch might have gotten a big paw up there.
Well, it is a big paw if it's Aaron's.
I think this is Lynch right here, the true freshman, one of the most gifted recruits in the country. He's had a big year working on Ian White. Nice job locating the quarterback, filling a lane. Look at him fill the lane and get the arms up. That's a heck of a job. And we're talking 6'6", 265-pound true freshman. He looks like an NFL-style guy right now at age 18 or 19. Just amazing.
Ryan Quigley is in punt formation on 4th down. Flag down right at the line of scrimmage.
After the play, there was unsportsmanlike conduct by both teams. Number 50 of the offense, number 19 of the defense. It remains 4th down.
So the penalty's offset, still 4th down.
A little chippy out there, Tom.
Yeah, it has been since the outset.
Little chippy, and I get it. This is a rivalry game.
Lynch, after the penalty, got yanked. As Quigley's punt will bounce and be down to the 5-yard line. Good punt by Quigley and good coverage by the Eagles special teams, but they give the ball back. Notre Dame already leads by 10. 10-0 Notre Dame, leading Boston College with 4:14 to go in the first quarter of play at Notre Dame Stadium on a chilly final home game of the season. Irish start from the 5-yard line. Pass to Floyd, goes one-on-one, wins that battle, and then crosses the 5, gets 2 or 3 yards before Steele DeVito makes the tackle for Boston College.
And BC's trying to match up Donnie Fletcher, who was a senior, one of their 2 seniors in the entire starting lineup at 6'1", 195 on Michael Floyd. Now, good job coming to balance, but look at Michael Floyd. He just literally throws them off. And I thought Fletcher approached it the right way, but couldn't handle it physically.
2nd down and 8. Reese changing the play. Jonas Gray cuts up a narrow hole and crosses the 10. Max Holloway puts the clamp on him there. Max Holloway, the 6'2", 253-pound junior from Lutz, Florida. His dad, Brian, played 10 years in the NFL with New England and Oakland. His brother, Dave, is currently with the Arizona Cardinals. And Max from Florida, he said when he first came to Chestnut Hill, that first cold day, all he had was a BC sweater he had bought on his recruiting trip. No gloves, no overcoat, no nothing. He said it was miserable. Jonas Gray gets the call again.
And by the way, Holloway made a tackle there along with Duggan, just to kind of tag your story. Here's Holloway working against Dever, retraces his steps, which is key when the ball goes away like that, and gets involved with the tackle. He's a good football player, and as Tom said, comes from a heck of a lineage.
One of 8 kids, had 18 sacks his senior year in high school. Ben Turk in punt formation from his own end zone with Bobby Swigert, the deep man for Boston College. Sailing punt by Turk. Swigert at the 40 and stopped in his tracks at the 40-yard line. No return on that one by Cam McDaniel of the Notre Dame special teams. A 47-yard punt with no return. 10-0 Notre Dame. Josh Bordner in at quarterback now for Boston College. His first appearance. Redshirt freshman from Sykesville, Maryland, playing in his 4th game of the season. Known as the runner for the Eagles. Dancing his way around. And picked up about 4 yards on his first carry. Boston College and Notre Dame, the number 4 and 5 teams in the country in hockey. College hockey played last night at the new Compton Family Ice Center here at Notre Dame. That beautiful facility we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. And what a game. Overtime game. Notre Dame, number 5, knocking off number 4 BC 3-2 in overtime.
Mentioned the new quarterback Bordner. He's 6'4", 225. They use him like Florida used to use Tim Tebow. Big downhill runner.
And here is a quarterback draw. Bordner. They stand him up at about the 45-yard line and take him down after only a yard gain or so. And that was Sean Swinar and Manti Te'o combining on the stop of Bordner, who on 3rd down goes to the sideline.
Yep, quarterback draw. Good news for the Eagles also. They have number 75, Nate Richmond, in the game, who was a starting tackle last year. Missed most of this season. He's in there playing both guard and tackle, and right now he's in at left tackle. He's their most experienced lineman. When healthy, he's a good player.
And Rolandon Finch has been in at running back on this series, averaging 4.5 a carry. This is 3rd down and 5. And Riddick back in, had a man open, but overshot him. Swigert had found a little gap in the coverage, but Riddick's pass sails over his head and out of bounds. Incomplete. Another 3 and out for the Eagles.
Yeah, and a college quarterback at this level has got to make this throw. Gary Gray hesitates. Ball thrown way behind him. He's got to drop that in right over Gary Gray's head. He was a big-time recruit with a big arm, but you have to make that throw.
Ryan Quigley hunts. Goodman fakes the fair catch, lets it bounce. Same result as last time, only better. BC last time downed it at the 5. This time they get it all the way down to the 1. Jake Sinkovic was the man that stopped the Quigley punt and downed it deep.
We've discovered.
Comes loose and the ball.
I want everybody to know that I was a guy who had adversity in the beginning and was able to rise from that adversity. I want to leave with a legacy as a guy who stuck to it and didn't give up.
Jonas Gray, and you remember that's what Brian Kelly said to him after that fumble return for a touchdown against South Florida. How do you want to be remembered? took it to heart, and a man that used to be known as the team comedian and not a whole lot else has made himself a first-class running back. What a season, with 12 touchdowns, including one today, and averaging 5 yards a carry. It's just actually 7 yards a carry. I shorted him a couple there. What a season he's had. His mom, who was on welfare, a single parent, went and entered college at 28 years old. Got a job as a policewoman in Pontiac, Michigan. Went to the office for welfare and said, "I don't need you anymore. I have a job." And today she met her son on the field for senior day festivities. What a moment. Alex?
I visited with his mom before the game started, Tom. You're right. You know, she was really worried about Jonas's start to the season, really more worried than Jonas was. He said a lot clicked for him his senior year when that fumble happened on the first game of the season. He watched a lot of film on it. He said he recognized what he did wrong. And I think what really helped him, he said, on that was it reminded him to pay attention to details. And that kind of sparked him, Tom, and made him have the great senior season that he's had.
Well, it was quite a moment.
She's as quick as her son, huh?
Greeted her son in the introductions before the game today on senior day.
That's cool.
And a lot of bad things in college athletics. A story like Jonas Gray and his mom will warm your heart. After the Notre Dame timeout, Sierra Wood gets the call and races down the sideline close to the first down before Kuechly forced him out. That's a gain of 9 yards on first down for Sierra Wood.
Yeah, Sean Sylvia, the safety, took a bad angle. Should have made the tackle after about a 2 or 3 yard gain. But give that tailback credit. Sierra Wood. Look at the burst. There's a bad angle right there by Sylvia. Michael Floyd with the great block, as he's done all season long on the corner. Asprilla. How'd you like to be Manny Asprilla, an 18-year-old true freshman at 5'10", 170, with Michael Floyd blocking you on the edge?
Final seconds of the opening quarter, and a good run by Wood picks up a Notre Dame first down. Notre Dame ground game very much clicking again, as it did last week against Maryland. As Notre Dame bidding to go 3-0 against the ACC. Final seconds ticking off as they change ends of the field, and Notre Dame will end that first quarter leading the Eagles of Boston College by a 10-0 count. So Sisyphus not quite able to get the boulder up the hill yet for BC and the Eagles. They trail by 10 at the end of the first. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. Lights on late afternoon at Notre Dame Stadium. Senior day, the final home game of the season. We start the second quarter with Notre Dame leading Boston College 10-0, and the Irish with a first down at their own 17-yard line. Welsh in motion resets. Blitz comes. Irish with a running play, handoff to Sierra Wood, and he'll be stopped perhaps for a loss on the play by Dan Williams and Luke Kuechly.
A good job initially on the blitz pickup, but Boston College had more people at the line of scrimmage than Notre Dame could handle.
Didn't quite make it back to the line of scrimmage. It's something down at about 10.5. As the pass is complete to Floyd, trying to use his blockers. Dives out of bounds across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Well, they mark it about the 27-yard line, it appears.
And Tom, this is what you and I have been talking about all season. As they've developed the run game centered around Jonas Gray and Sierra Wood, all good things happen. 11 rushes, 12 passes. Defenses can't load up. All of a sudden, Tommy Rees has an easier time getting the football down the field. And when you look at Notre Dame with the two tailbacks we talked about, Eifert at tight end and Floyd out wide, that's more weaponry than most college football teams will ever have.
And what a conundrum for the defense. Which do you gear to stop? Ooh, almost an interception. That could have been picked off by DeVito. intended for Robbie Toma.
And Tom, this is a two-man rush, and they're showing 4, but they're dropping 2 out. Tommy Reese doesn't see it. There's 9 guys there, and look at the drive on the football by DeVito. Mark that play. That's the second dropped interception so far today. Fletcher earlier led to a field goal. DeVito there.
So Notre Dame to punt on 4th down. Ben Turk with Bobby Schweigert, the deep man. Schweigert again has to pedal backwards to the 28, but has a nice return. Crosses the 40-yard line to the 43. That's a 49-yard punt, but Schweigert able to bring it back 15 yards before he's tackled by Dan McCarthy. Sunday night is football night. Don't miss America's Game of the Week as the Eagles take on Eli Manning and the Giants on Sunday Night Football. Bob Costas hosts Football Night in America live from MetLife Stadium. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on NBC.
And that is a do or die for the Philadelphia Eagles in division against the division-leading New York Giants. They're going to put the ball in LaShawn McCoy's belly and let him take over.
First down, BC. Finch to the 45-yard line. Well, we talked about the NFL game tomorrow night, and Mark Herzlich, the Boston College linebacker who had such a great career, overcame cancer, Ewing sarcoma, rare form of bone cancer, not drafted but stuck with the New York Giants as a free agent, and announced he was cancer-free in September, and a milestone for him tomorrow night for the New York Giants.
He will start his first NFL game against his hometown team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
What a great story he was, not only for the Boston College Eagles, but for all of college football. Riddick's pass. Pantelli, the tight end, makes the reception a couple of yards short of the first. It's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Had an opportunity to spend a little time on the phone today with Herzlich, and it was kind of cool talking to him about his experiences as a BC player against Notre Dame. He said they used to play that darn fight song on a return reel all week long in the locker room. He said it drove them crazy.
3rd down and a yard. Finch dropped in the backfield. Jamor Slaughter.
And they bring Slaughter, who has been playing that kind of amoeba safety outside linebacker position. Ian White, the guard who's pulling, never sees him. Watch White. It happens too quickly. Can't pick him up. Big hit, great angle by Slaughter, and that's a guy that has kind of taken one for the betterment of the team, playing out of position a lot this year against the option offenses, outside linebacker, but what a solid year he's had.
Another Quigley punt and another good one. Goodman, fair catch, makes it this time at about the 6-yard line. That punt by Quigley was another one, the 3rd inside the 10-yard line of Notre Dame. Notre Dame football is brought to you by the Droid Razor. Thin is no longer frail, only at Verizon. By Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility, what's your policy? By the G-Series, Prime, Perform, Recover. And by Toyota. This is a neat scene. This is beneath the Golden Dome inside the administration building earlier today as the trumpet section of the Band of the Fighting Irish played the Victory March to a standing room only crowd. One of the really neat things about the weekend pageant that is Notre Dame football. Jonas Gray on 1st down. Stopped at the 5-yard line by Kevin Pierre-Louis. That'll be a loss of a yard on the play and bring up 2nd down and 11.
And Tom, this is the 3rd time in the first half Notre Dame has started inside their 10-yard line. It makes a signal caller a little bit more conservative, and Boston College has been loading up that front with an 8-man front and attacking downhill on the run game.
Tommy Reese passes from his own end zone and a diving attempt. Robbie Toma, yes, it's good. Wow. Toma with a diving catch for 19 yards.
All right, I've been advocating all year that this kid gets more playing time. I watch him practice, I watch him play, and that's how he played. Look at the football sliding out. One hand, does it hit the ground? It slides up to the shoulder pad. He holds on to it. This will probably be reviewed. But, Tom, I'm telling you, he's quicker than fast. He catches everything. He hustles his tail off, and I'm so tired of people saying he was a throw-in on the Manti-Teo deal. This kid can play football.
From the same high school as Manti, and as you see, Coach Spaz wanted the review and is getting it now as Coach Kelly and Reese discuss the last play.
Tom, this is an interesting play here. He's in the slot, and I think it's Kuechly right here who's going to try and widen him. And Kuechly's one of the best pass drop linebackers in all of college football. See him widen him? At that point, you think you took him out of the play. It's a great throw, a great effort. Now the question is right here. The right hand cups it. Ball's turning in his hand. I can't tell whether or not the left hand got underneath to scoop it or not.
Another close call. We were wrong on the earlier one.
Yeah.
The ruling on the field stands. It's first down.
I kind of felt like there was not enough there to overturn it. And apparently there's the best angle right there. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Yeah. But that's super slow motion, and I really don't understand how these refs do such a great job at full speed. Play him, coach. Play him.
So the play stands, first down, 24-yard line.
Remember, Toma is getting snaps because of the injury to Theo Riddick. He missed the Maryland game. Riddick, a more explosive kid.
And off to Jonas Gray. To the 30-yard line. Alex?
Hey, Tom, quickly, you know what coaches call a Robbie Toma? The poor man's Wes Welker. That's how good they think he is.
Well, then play him. If you're Wes Welker, you got to get on the field, man.
Jonas Gray. Manny Espria with the tackle, and I think he's prevented the first down yardage on the play, which will bring up a third for the Irish.
Yeah, I love the Wes Welker type stories. You know, here's a kid that nobody wanted out of high school. Texas Tech finally threw him a bone at the end of recruiting. Nobody wanted him out of college, and he's merely one of the best 5 or 6 wideouts in the entire NFL at this point.
Third down and 1. Flags coming down. Looked like movement. Yes.
Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Chris Watt with a false start. Now makes it third down and 6.
Good call. Now it changes both the offensive and defensive play call here for Coach Kelly, and then on the defensive side for Bill McGovern. If you're going to bring exotic heat, this is when you typically do it. Third and medium.
Reese, protection is good. And he goes underneath the coverage. Eifert takes a big hit. And let's see the spot of the football.
Talked about how chippy it was getting. Late flag.
All right, there is a late flag as Tyler Eifert took a big hit on the play, but held on to the football.
After the play, personal foul, number 91, offense, personal foul, defense. The result of the play.
There is not a 91.
Of the offense, number 91 of the defense. The fouls will count.
So it's Dever on offense and Edebali on defense. What happened that time was, I told you, exotic, right? 3rd and 7. They went with a 4-man front, fire zone blitz, which is a 3-man rush, drop 8. Tommy really wanted Michael Floyd deep. Notre Dame had that covered, and it was a good job checking it down and getting just enough for the first.
See Brian Kelly saying, let's go. Wanting to get that tempo stepped up again as it was a week ago. It's been a slower tempo today. Play action fake, and Reese again with protection and has a man open. It's caught by T.J. Jones. And T.J. with a good gain before Kuechly can chase him down at the 45-yard line. That's a 20-yard strike from Tommy Reese.
Love the patience. This is a young quarterback who's learning how to take his time. Zone read, look where the head is. Looking middle, 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 then rotate the feet and the hips and put it right on T.J. Jones.
Reese already over 100 yards passing. Jonas Gray, another flag comes flying.
Sylvia on the tackle.
I think we're probably going to get a hold here. It might
Offense
be
number 75. 10-yard penalty.
Dever.
First down.
So Taylor Dever, the fifth-year senior from Nevada City, California, with a couple of penalties here in his final home appearance in his second season as a starter for the Irish front.
We've had, what, 2 double penalties so far today, unsportsmanlike on both sides. Yep. That's where you kind of get the head coaches and say, okay, fellas, we got to clean this up or we're going to start throwing flags that cost you yards.
First down and 20 for the Irish after that step off. Reese looks downfield, goes for Jones, can't hold on. Defended by Donnie Fletcher. As Jones streaks down the sideline but can't hold the pass.
BC did a great job there. Watch Michael Floyd jump up and down like throw it to me, and then they're going to try and beat him deep down here. Fletcher does it. There's Michael Floyd, my bad. But look at Ford down the field. He reads the whole thing. Fletcher breaks it up at the end. That's called discipline. Eye discipline. Just gets the left hand in there. Barely gets the hand in there. But you got to be disciplined to play defensive back.
It did look like Fletcher got a hand in there just at the last second. Reese drills it complete to Toma. Nowhere for him to go, though. To the 49 of the Eagles, where he is flattened.
Kuechly again. Tommy Reese wanted it further down the field.
If in doubt, just say Kuechly.
Don't even look at our boards today, right? Kuechly. Remember, he needs 16 more tackles to be the all-time leader in BC history. And 16 is about his average, Tom. That's not a big day for him.
Third and long for the Irish, leading by 10. Reese steps up, puts it incomplete through the hands of Jonas Gray. I think Gray thought that Tommy was going to run with it, and the pass falls incomplete.
You know what BC's doing, Tom, is they're dropping 8 and 9, recognizing that Tommy Reese is not going to hurt them with his feet, challenging him to be patient to work the ball down the field. They wanted Michael Floyd on the deep in route. That was taken away. Had to check it down.
Ben Turk on for another punt to Bobby Swigert. Another boomer from Turk, who lets it hits it in the end zone on the fly. So not so good on the net. 49-yard punt, but the net will be only 29. The Irish leading by 10.
80,000 green pom-poms waving here at Notre Dame Stadium in honor of the Kelly Cares Foundation. We've all come to know the face of head coach Brian Kelly. You might not recognize so well, though, his wife, Pocky Kelly, who does a lot of work behind the scenes. So, Pocky, just give us some insight as to what being the wife of the head coach is like and what you're doing.
I think it's a pretty busy job, but I really, really love it. And we've loved coming to South Bend. This last year and a half has just been a whirlwind. Notre Dame's been a wonderful place to be and just a loving area and community.
Tom, we'll let you call the play and then come back to Pocky.
Okay, first down for the Eagles from their 20, with Taj Kimball in at running back behind Colin Lawman, the fullback. As Reddick's pass on target to the 35-yard line and a BC first down It was Colin Larman that made the catch for 15 yards. Alex?
So, Pocky, we mentioned the pom-poms and representing the Kelly Cares Foundation. You guys do a lot of great things. One of the things I love is Football 101. Describe a little bit about what that program is.
Well, in June, we have a Football 101 for women only, and Brian's staff, the ND staff, and the community and the stadium, they allow us to have our women, 600 women came and get educated about football and college football plays, and they get to have questions. It's a really good time and a great fundraiser for us.
Here's a Reddick's pass, another catch, another first down. This time it's Swigert on the receiving end, as BC is finally moving the football. Alex?
So the foundation, kellycaresfoundation.com, what is the ultimate goal of it, Pocky?
Well, we have 3 pillars of both helping community, health, and education, and we've had an opportunity with the help of the ND platform, and they've been so supportive with us here in the community. We've had some local golf events, Football 101. We've also done some in Grand Rapids as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Here's Kimball with the carry. So Pocky Kelly, a 2-time breast cancer survivor with the pink hat on, the Kelly Cares Foundation handing out the green pom-poms today, and they do wonderful work. Brian and Pocky Kelly, the Kelly Cares Foundation.
Tom, I'm guessing the single Notre Dame football coaches are kind of digging Football 101. 600 women trying to learn a little about football. What do you think?
No doubt.
pretty good ratio.
First time BC has crossed midfield today in Irish territory at the 48-yard line.
A little different pace, throwing the football successfully. They hit Larman and Swigert.
Dropped. Larman could not hold that pass right in his hands.
Yeah, you got to catch that one. I mean, if you catch and drop your shoulder, that's a first down. You know, that was 2nd and 7 or 8. You're going to pick up a first down, and that they flooded the zone there. It's 3 different levels on this route: short, intermediate, and deep. He hits the short route. If you catch the football, Armin, and turn your head up the field, you might run over Gary Gray just enough to get a first down.
So a 3rd and 6. 5.5 minutes till halftime. BC trying to get something going in Irish territory, first time today, but a 3rd and 6 to keep the drive going. Reddick's pass caught, first down. Swigert down the sideline. Blanton finally rides him out of bounds. Clutch 3rd down conversion by Chase Reddick and Bobby Swigert for 17 yards.
Okay, here's the BC version of Wes Welker. Probably their quickest receiver in the slot, Swigert. Watch how quick he runs away right there in a whip route. Beats Blanton badly. Blanton jumps the inside part of the whip route. Swigert alertly sets him up and then takes it back outside. Good catch, really good route.
First down at the 28. Kimball spun down in the backfield by Lewis Nix. Big Lewis Nix, the man always with a smile on his face, will smile after that one as the sophomore from Jacksonville gets Kimball for a loss of 3.
Yeah, and he's so good. He's such a load up here. He's going to beat the backside guard, Harris Williams, and once he beats that cutoff block, it's all over. At 26 pounds, he's got quickness and explosion and should be a dominant player going forward.
Dave Brock, the offensive coordinator for BC, saying he may be big, but he's not that slow. He's pretty quick on his feet, pretty nimble.
Yes, he is.
Pass is complete. Caught by Coleman. First catch of the game for Jonathan Coleman, the sophomore from the Bronx, New York, and his 5th reception of the season.
Yeah, and the movement by Taj Kimball, the running back, when he went to the outside on the pass, forced Darius Fleming to expand. When Fleming expanded, the correct read by Reddick back inside.
Another 3rd down for BC. 3rd down and 5.
This is where you have to protect points. You're in field goal range already. No sacks, no interceptions, no fumbles.
Riddick fires a man open across the middle is Pantelli. And Pantelli tackled by Harrison Smith to prevent the touchdown, but not until he had a first down, a gain of 21 yards, and first and goal BC.
Pantelli works the intermediate depth in behind the linebackers. Right up here, look at him. Why did he get there open? Because everybody wanted to jump Swigert underneath. Remember, Swigert caught the little quick route the last time. Both linebackers jumped him, and he was wide open.
Bordner in at quarterback for BC. Bordner fakes on the quarterback keep. Touchdown BC.
They love him in the red zone. Why? Because you get an extra blocker when you bring in your running quarterback. Now it's 11 on 11.
Second rushing touchdown of the season for Josh.
They just pull the backside guard, Harris Williams. They've got a fullback in the game. That's called quarterback counter. Big hit, big touchdown.
So Nate Freeze is on to attempt the point after for Boston College. And it is good. First 4 possessions by the Eagles resulted in 4 punts. On the 5th one, they drive 80 yards in 9 plays. The quarterback Bordner keeps. BC has made it a game. Down only 3.
We've got to do.
The Detroit Red Wings take on Tim Thomas and the Stanley Cup champion Bruins in the first ever Discover NHL Thanksgiving Showdown. That's Friday at 1 Eastern, only on NBC. Well, Boston College with an 80-yard drive. Took them 9 plays. They've narrowed the count to 3 with 3:04 left until halftime. That's the dangerous George Atkinson, the deep man for Notre Dame. As quickly has it teed up and ready to kick it off. Or maybe he has it teed up. There we go.
Some heavy winds down there before the game, too, really altering both the field goals and the kickoffs depending on the direction.
Seems to have subsided a bit, do you think?
Sure has.
So here's Quigley's kickoff. Atkinson moves up to field it at the 18. Picks his way forward to the 30-yard line where the Irish offense will get a chance. Leading BC now by only 3 at 10-7. 2:57 left till halftime.
Notre Dame football experience has been, great. I think with all the experiences that I went through, negative or positive, you always grow from there.
Still on his feet. Michael Floyd racing to the end zone for the touchdown.
You have to grow up and you got to mature, and that's what I did.
Well, he did indeed, and Michael very candid with us yesterday, saying that he made the mistake, made a couple of mistakes, had the DUI, was in danger of being evicted from not only the team but from school, and said that certainly got his attention, turned his life completely around, and did mature as he makes this catch from Reese and takes a blast out of bounds. It draws a yellow flag. Sean Sylvia not with a smart play there. Clearly out of bounds.
Clearly out of bounds. And in a game like this where you're a big underdog, I keep trying to say you can't drop interceptions.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 19, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I mean, it's hard enough to be an underdog by over 20 points and stay in a game, but right here, he's clearly 2 yards out of bounds. I know you want to hit him. I know you want to be a tough guy, but you got to be smart also.
And Reese knew it. And Michael Floyd, after turning his life around, as we mentioned, said to himself, I want to be the best receiver in football. So what did he concentrate on improving? His blocking. And it has been very much in evidence this entire season. Sierra Wood got that call.
You know what, Tom? What impressed me most about our discussion with him yesterday were 2 things. One, the eye contact. Looked us in the eye, talked about the mistakes he made. And then number 2, the emotion about his mom seeing him walk in May to graduate and being one of the first in his family to do so. It was not a football issue. It was a life issue.
Here he is again. Michael Floyd zips through that gap, cuts back, and is inside the 25-yard line before he's hit by DeVito. A gain of 19 for Michael Floyd.
Wide stack with Tyler Eifert out in front. And as you said, what'd you say, he burst or zipped? That's a pretty good description. I liked it. He zipped through the seam. He made Kuechly miss. And on cue, we're talking about the kid. He makes 2 catches back-to-back.
There's a handoff to Wood, and Sierre stopped by Kevin Pierre-Louis. By the way, if you're keeping score on the stellar linebackers, Kuechly at the start of this series had 9 tackles, 1 for a loss, and Teo with 7 tackles today. So living up to their advanced billing.
Oh, they're special, both those kids. Different style players, though, which we'll get into later.
First down line brought to you by Xerox. Reese pass deflected and incomplete off the hand of Eifert.
3rd and 9.
So 3rd and 9 upcoming for Reese and the Irish.
Another opportunity for BC to make a play. The linebacker, Pierre-Louis, did a great job forcing the elevation of the football. Watch Pierre-Louis underneath, forces the elevation. Now here's tip drill. 21, Espria, the freshman, has a chance to make a play and just can't get back.
Just had all his momentum going in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
And couldn't quite reverse it.
And keep in mind, they got a field goal because Donnie Fletcher dropped an interception. Opportunities abounding for this BC team.
3rd down and 9. Tommy Reese in the pocket. Delivers underneath and incomplete. Dislodged from the arms of Sierre Wood. Who was it?
Yeah, who do you think?
Oh, well, let's see. If in doubt, say Kuechly.
This kid in pass drops, and I watched a bunch of his tape last night. When he puts his foot in the ground and changes direction, watch him drop his hips, foot in the ground, and then when he sees it, he trusts it, bang, go. Strip the football.
So David Ruffer on for a 41-yard field goal attempt. Ruffer has one already from 40. This one 41 yards with 1:23 on the clock till halftime. Ruffer's field goal on its way, and it is good. Second field goal on senior day for senior David Ruffer, which ups the Notre Dame lead to 13-7. A minute 19 till halftime, and coming up at intermission, the Discover Card halftime report. Liam McHugh, Doug Flutie in the New York studio with scores and highlights from college football. Mike Florio and Peter King will join them with a preview of tomorrow night's NFC East battle between the Eagles and the Giants. David Ruffer field goal, and Kyle Brinza will kick it off for Notre Dame. 13-7 Irish with 1:19 till halftime. The eyes of Spiffy Evans, the primary returner for BC. Right at the sideline, Evans fields it. Crosses the 20, tries to cut back and taken down at about the 22-yard line. BC will have 1:12.
Thought Spiffy should have let that go out of bounds, but on the last drive, 3rd down conversions were critical. The first one, Swigert, the slot receiver, little whip route in and back out, beats Blanton badly for a 1st down. Then 2 linebackers jump him on the short route. Swigert, who's open behind him, Pantelli. Then they put Bordner, the Wildcat quarterback, in the game. Quarterback power, touchdown. That gives us a football game. And Tom, as you said, 1:12, 13-7 ball game, and it's a very physical affair so far with great defense.
Chase Reddick, the quarterback, hot on the last possession, which resulted in a touchdown. He hit 5 of 6 for 77 yards on their last drive. Here's Andre Williams. Started the game, but has been on the sideline for a while. Got a tough yard or 2. Dan Fox, the linebacker, number 48, leaving the game there, got credit for the tackle.
Did a good job coming underneath the pulling guard, Harris Williams, who should have been able to make that block. But, you know, there's been really good production at that position. Carlo Calabrese and Danny Fox have shared the position all year. Coming into tonight's game, 70 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks between them. Really good production. 2 players being selfless enough to allow the other to play with him.
BC taking their time, as you see, so 30 seconds left. And they're just going to run it to Williams.
Yeah, if Brian Kelly allows him to run the clock out.
Aaron Lynch makes another tackle. The young Colt who has been not much less than a sensation in his freshman year.
He is so quick and explosive. Watch him just make the move inside, runs through two people, locates the football. That's why he was one of the top recruits, Tom, in the entire country.
So Lynch makes the play on the final play of the first half as we go down to Alex with Coach Spaziani.
So, Coach, 4 punts in your first 4 offensive series, and then you get something going on offense. What was different for you?
Well, we made a couple plays, but you know, we got some field position with our kicking, and you know that's how you play football. It's all phases of the game. You know, sometimes that's a good defense and good players, and it takes you a little while to get something going.
Let's walk out of the band. I'll ask you one more question here. Some missed opportunities. You called this team, this Notre Dame team, a top 5 team, in your opinion, talent-wise. Some missed opportunities. How much have they hurt you?
Well, obviously, we have to make plays. In order to beat a team of this caliber, you have to have some heroes. We have to have guys making plays.
Who might be a hero for you in the second half?
Oh, you never know who the hero is going to be, but they jump up.
All right, Mike and Tom, I'll leave you with that. You guys can guess who the hero might be.
Well, they're waiting for one to jump up as they trail 13-7 at halftime. Stay tuned now for the Discover Card halftime report, the halftime performance of the Notre Dame band at NBCSports.com. Now let's go to Liam McHugh in our New York studio.
So he goes back to his comfort zone.
It pays to Discover Card
halftime at Notre Dame with the Irish leading the Eagles of Boston College by a 13-7 count. Well, Mike, think about that first half, and seemed like Notre Dame was dominating, and yet you look up at the scoreboard, it's only a 6-point game.
And to me, it's all about field position. Notre Dame has 100 yards of total offense more than Boston College, but the punter, Ryan Quigley from Boston College, I think is the first half MVP. 4 punts, but Tom, 3 of them have been dropped inside the 6-yard line.
So field position big, and BC certainly in the game. Time now for Doing the Right Thing, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Well, BC came out running the football. That's what they do. They want to run time off the clock. Multiple tight ends and running backs. However, on the series where they scored, they spread the field. 3 wide receivers, 1 back, known as 11 personnel. Notre Dame had trouble matching up with the 3 wide receivers. Reddick threw the football down the field, and finally Bordner, the backup quarterback, came in and scored. And I thought that was a great coaching adjustment by the Boston College staff.
And that was our Northwestern Mutual doing the right thing. Throughout the season, we've looked at many of the unique things that Notre Dame students and professors are engaged in off the field, and here's our final installment this season.
The great thinkers of the world were really entrepreneurs. Aristotle and Plato and Descartes, they expanded the realm of the possible. Studying the works of these great authors inspired me to not only question where I wanted my life to go, but how I wanted to live it.
Paul Tierney is a graduate of the University of Notre Dame's Philosophy Department, the founder of 5 businesses, and the chairman of TechnoServe, a nonprofit organization that provides training and guidance to entrepreneurs in developing economies.
Notre Dame taught me a lot about how to analyze complicated problems, and perhaps most importantly, to understand the importance of imagination and creativity.
And these are all your products?
Yes.
You make those too?
Mm-hmm.
So in looking at situations in Africa or India or Latin America with TechnoServe, I hearken back to the days at Notre Dame where I faced some problems where I really didn't know how to start, but I knew that there was a solution.
After graduation, I want to work on addressing food sustainability, which is why I decided to study the humanities at Notre Dame, because I knew it was an issue without simple answers, and I wanted to be able to approach it in a creative and critical way.
I perceive that men as plants increase. What figure of speech is Shakespeare using?
In studying the humanities at Notre Dame, students are confronted with great thinkers and artists who became great by forging new paths. So students learn they must think for themselves. And then they leave Notre Dame with a sense not only of how to make their way in the world, but how to make the world better as they go.
The University of Notre Dame asks, what would you fight for?
Fighting to inspire the mind and spirit.
We are
the Fighting Irish.
going to be a lot of guys playing their last game in the stadium.
I couldn't be here without my family.
For the touchdown, Jonas Gray.
You'll remember your senior game the most as long as you win.
Senior day at Notre Dame Stadium. Tom Hammond, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan. The Irish leading Boston College 13-7. Notre Dame piling up more yardage in that first half, but good field position. Ryan Quigley did a good job punting for Boston College. 3 times pinning the Irish inside their 10. And the result is a 13-7 game as we start the third quarter. Notre Dame will kick off. Kyle Brinza ready to do the honors. Evans deep for Boston College. Here's Brinza's kick. And Evans will see it go out of bounds.
Boy, field position, right, Tom? We just finished talking about field position and what happens to the Irish. They kick it out of bounds, giving BC great position.
Let's check in with Alex Flanagan.
Hey, Mike. Well, of course, Notre Dame down to 6 points despite having more than 100 yards of offense in Boston College. And Brian Kelly echoing exactly what you said. It comes down to field position, that they've been trying to grind it out and they've got to be more effective. He said about BC on offense that they need to do a little bit of man-on and third down situations there, that they have to be more effective in mixing it up, Mike and Tom.
All right, Alex, and Coach Spaziano saying looking for a hero to step forward for the Eagles. Here's their first chance from the 40. First down run by Taj Kimball.
I kind of pick him. If there's going to be a hero at Boston College, they don't have a whole lot of people that can make him miss or make a play. Taj Kimball, who's been hurt a lot this year, that was his 7th carry, and Tom, on the entire season, he only has 26. So when he's healthy, he's explosive, and they need to hold on to the football, play the field position game, and hope for mistakes from Notre Dame.
Deuce Finch, their leading rusher on the season, 577 yards, has been used sparingly.
There's a great graphic there. 15-yard line average start for Notre Dame.
Riddick's pass deep downfield with a man open, and diving attempt no good. It was Amidi that made or Amadon, I should say, that made the catch, or diving attempt at the catch. He was open with a step on the Notre Dame defenders.
That's the second throw that Riddick could have made that could change a game. Gary Gray running with him. That's wide open, folks, in college football, and it's overthrown. Gotta hit that throw. If you're an underdog, you can't keep making mistakes like that, and I put that on Chase Reddick. I know it's a tough throw, but you gotta make it.
Alex Amadon down that sideline, could have been a big play. Instead, it's 3rd down and 5.
And he's the fastest Eagle on their team. Had a great vertical catch against North Carolina State last week.
Riddick's pass on 3rd down, snagged for first by Swigert. So they convert that 3rd down and keep the drive going, their opening possession of the second half.
And that's that Wes Welker-like kid that we talked about, quicker than fast. Swigert working on Blanton. That's the second time, Tom, on 3rd down, Swigert has won that duel.
See the other scores in college football today, as BC has first down at midfield. Diving Swigert. Did he get it? No, incomplete.
Little jerk route, little hesitation route. Swigert here is going to come down, hesitate, and then work across. Looking for him the whole way. There's the hesitation, works across. Good job by Fleming driving, but the ball was thrown low and incomplete.
Swigert from Ohio, as you see. From Louisville High School in Ohio, 2nd team All-State there. Played some quarterback as a senior, wide receiver, defensive back. 2nd down and 10. Tried to set up a screen, and Kimball could not hang on, broken up by Manti Te'o.
This is so like the Kuechly play in the first half, where he made a great read, trusted his eyes, and came. Te'o's the exact same guy. He was spying. Here's Te'o. Watch him spy the tailback the entire time. Play action, slide, see it, now drive. Beats the block of Ian White. That's just a big-time football player. Tom, I'm really enjoying watching two of the best linebackers in all of college football compete today.
And did you see Ian White, the guard, get on the football for Boston College just in case?
Right.
I think they watched the Notre Dame film.
Right. Blitz.
Redding unloads it. And the coverage was tight by Gary Gray on Amadon.
Good job by the quarterback getting rid of the football because Teo's coming hard and Kimball's going to have to get him. Watch, he's coming here. Watch Kimball pick him up. You don't want this matchup if you're BC. You're going to lose that one. Good job by the quarterback, Chase Redding, getting rid of the football.
So Notre Dame forces a 4th down punt by Ryan Quigley. This one not as good by Quigley, though he does get a decent bounce out of it. And it will be inside the 20, down to about the 12-yard line, where Notre Dame will take over for the first time in the second half, leading BC 13-7. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. By the Miller Lite Home Draft. Taste greatness. By Xerox. With Xerox, you're ready for real business. And by U.S. Bank, member FDIC. Notre Dame with its first possession of the second half. It begins from the Irish 12. Bobby Reese flipping it to Floyd. Floyd crosses the first down line, out of bounds. First down Irish. Pitch and catch, Reese to Floyd. Michael Floyd going out with a nice senior day. Floyd so far has caught 5 for 44 yards. And is a catch by Jones. T.J. Jones got a foot down in bounds for another grab by the Irish.
We talked about tempo with the Irish a week ago at Maryland. That snap was at about 15 seconds off the 40-second clock. They're moving very quickly again.
Handoff is to Gray, trying to get the corner. Cuts up and stops short of the first down. BC defense did a good job of stringing that one out till they could get some help on the seam and prevent the first down run.
Dylan Quinn, the defensive tackle, I thought did a nice job at the point, and then Kuechly kind of cleaned it up at the end.
3rd and 1, gain of 2.
BC's had so many injuries this year. Dylan Quinn injured early in the year, just got back again last week. On defense, their starting corner, C.J. Jones, their best defensive lineman, Caleb Ramsey, out for the year.
On 3rd down and 1. Blitz comes and the handoff to Gray. And Jonas Gray will pick up the Irish first down to the 36-yard line.
And Tom, you did a great job calling the blitz on the way, but a really good job by the Notre Dame offensive line. Watch what happens right here. The right guard, Trevor Robinson, who his teammates say is the smartest player on that offensive front, sees the blitz, picks it up, does a great job on Pierre Lewis.
Trevor makes all the line calls for the Irish. Reese, plenty of time. The pass, was that deflected? It might have been.
Yeah, I think it was. Might have been at a volley.
So 2nd down and 10. Here, let's see if we can.
This is Edibali. I'm not sure if it's him, but that's what it looked like to me. No, it isn't. Defensive tackle, Apaya, maybe.
Yep. So Dominic Apaya with the deflection, setting up a 2nd and 10. Out of the backfield to Gray. Well diagnosed by the BC defense to the 40-yard line only, where Manny Esprilla makes the play.
And I really think that Bill McGovern, the defensive coordinator for Boston College, has done a great job, Tom, with dropping so many defenders into coverage, saying, Tommy Reese, you're not going to beat us with your feet. So we're going to force you to be patient and try and work it down the field. They can't get on top of this BC defense.
3rd and long for Tommy Reese. Again, plenty of time, and then the coverage finally breaks down and forces Reese to throw it away.
Again, they're playing coverage. They don't care because they know Tommy Reese cannot scramble anywhere. It's frustrating for a young quarterback. Everybody deep. Again, there's absolutely nothing there. Look how deep that corner's playing because he knows he's got a drop linebacker. Max Holloway, the defensive end, dropped right off. I mean, the defensive backs are intelligent when they have help underneath.
Van Turk with the punt. Schweigert watches it bounce and then gets away from it. So this will be a little taste of their own medicine for the Eagles. As Boston College sees Notre Dame down at the 5-yard line. A 55-yard punt with no return. So far, a standoff in the 3rd quarter. Now it's time for Mercedes-Benz top performances. 1993, Boston College against #1 ranked Notre Dame. The Irish trailed 38-17 with 11 minutes left in the game, but fought back to take the lead. But then David Gordon kicked a last-second 41-yard field goal to crush Notre Dame's dreams of playing for the national title. The 41-39 victory, BC's first ever win over the Fighting Irish. Head over to NBCSports.com/Mercedes for more top performances.
I remember that game. Left-footed kicker and in the shadow of touchdown Jesus.
And there you are, the grotto here at Notre Dame. It's normally like that with all the candles lit. And for BC, one tiny candle. The week before, when they beat Florida State to become #1, it had been like a firestorm. And then one candle for the BC game, and afterwards many people said the greatest college game ever played. A BC fan sent me a t-shirt. It said Boston College on the front, and on the back it had a picture of a candle. It said, "Next time, light 2."
I like that. That's funny. It's a great rivalry. Kids on both teams talk about it all week long.
Second down and 3 for the Eagles. Play action fake. Riddick rolls, delivers the pass. It'll be good for a first down as Pantale went upstairs to get it. The pass was high, but he was able to pull it in. And the big 6'6" tight end picks up an Eagle first down.
But the important thing is he was so wide open. I thought that the quarterback Riddick did a great job of lofting it over Darius Fleming and making sure the ball was caught. Because the ball was caught and he was so wide open, it's a first down and you don't have to punt from the shadow of your own end zone.
10 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. BC trailing by 6. This is Deuce Finch that gets the carry. Finch gets 3 or 4 yards.
They call him Deuce for a reason, right, Thomas?
Yeah, his dad is also Rolandon from New Albany, Indiana, though he went to high school at Louisville, Kentucky St. Xavier High School and was Gatorade Kentucky Player of the Year, Kentucky Mr. Football in 2008. St. X, one of the perennial powers in the state of Kentucky. Riddick's pass complete again, this time to Schweigert. And Schweigert will have another BC first down. That's a gain of 9.
David Brock, their offensive coordinator who we spoke with, said he was very quick, the most consistent and competitive of the receivers. And again, very quick. He loves that little in and out whip route that I call it. And all it is a simple pitch and catch the football, get up the field, and end result, move the chains.
And they did move him to the 28-yard line, first down.
BC spreading the field most effectively in their game plan here.
Finch thrown back violently by Teo and Harrison Smith.
Now, he had 39 carries, Finch did, against Maryland for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also had 2 fumbles, compounding it with 2 more fumbles that he lost against Florida State. So they're hesitant about giving him too many carries in a game like this.
The game he had at Maryland. 243 yards.
I watched that tape. It was in a pouring rainstorm. He looked like it was a dry day, making cuts left and right, guys slipping all around.
Fake it to him. Ready, throwing back. Catch made by Anderson, and Lars Anderson will be close to another BC first down.
You know, this has been a play that's been bothering Notre Dame all day long, and it's a misdirection play where they pull the right guard, but they bootleg the other way. So watch the pull here that way. Then the bootleg comes, 3-level pattern. There's the 3rd level with number 87 Anderson, the tight end, and they've been moving the chains very effectively with that play all day long.
Timeout for a measurement here. So the chains come in. And just short.
Short by about a foot.
So it'll be 3rd down and that much for Boston College. Chase Riddick on this drive so far for BC is 4 for 4 through the air.
Keep in mind, BC got down early 10-0, but the game plan has stayed consistent. And right now, if you're a BC fan, you're playing good defense, you're spreading the field offensively, moving the football. This has become a heck of a game.
And Bordner is in as the Wildcat quarterback.
Yeah, this is where they like power.
Take it. Bordner still has it. Flags are down.
Yeah, they move.
That'll make it a little more difficult proposition for the Eagles.
Yeah, the left guard, I think, Vidaro.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, Bobby Vidaro, the left guard. You're going to get what they call a little butt roll right here. Watch what happens. He's just going to twirl. Oh. Good call. Now, what that does is take BC out of that quarterback situation. Bordner's out. Reddick's in. And if I'm Notre Dame, who am I covering, Tom? Number 10 in the slot, right? But Swigert has made all the plays on 3rd down. I'm going to double Swigert inside and outside if I'm Notre Dame. I'm not letting him touch the football.
Notre Dame with a blitz. And a sack of Riddick. Darius Fleming on senior day, the senior from Chicago.
A great football player Darius Fleming is, doesn't get enough notice. And Jamara Slaughter that time did a great job in single coverage on Swigert, which is where he was trying to go. Watch, Jamara Slaughter jumps it. He wanted him the whole way. Really good coverage.
Loss of 6 on the first sack of the day.
Lynch from the outside forces the ball back inside where Fleming cleans it.
Quigley punts to Goodman. Fair catch at the last minute. Goodman makes it at about the 31-yard line. Quigley with another punt. This one 44 yards. While we were away over on the Notre Dame bench, Jonas Gray in tears, the senior from Pontiac, Michigan on senior day. Here's what happened on the last series.
Manny Espria gets him at the knee, Tom.
And Alex, do you have a diagnosis of the injury?
I do, Tom. After that play, he came off and got on the training bench. They kind of worked on his knee for a little while, and then they kind of went to him and told him the bad news, which has caused tears in his eyes, that they think he has a torn ACL. Unfortunate diagnosis on senior day for Jonas Gray.
Oh man, and we've just talked so much already at this broadcast about what a great senior year he had, how he had an inspirational senior season. So many teammates coming over to pay their respects to him. That's just devastating.
Tom, and what I would say to him is I know his dream is to get drafted in the NFL, and I know he's crushed right now, and he's been through adversity before. And just understand it's not over yet. Your dream is still available to you.
Meanwhile, here's Sierra Wood ripping off about a 9-yard run.
And Tom, what I mean by that is that if it indeed is an ACL, it probably does mean he won't get drafted this year. However, it doesn't mean he won't be a star in the NFL someday if he works his tail off and believes in himself, like I know he will. And there he is hugging Braxton Cave, who of course had his own injury to deal with this year. So I think all of our hearts go out to that young man and his family.
Indeed. Third down for Notre Dame. Less than a yard. Wood picks up the first down and a bit more before he's stopped by Sean Sylvia, a gain of 7.
Sierra Wood's going to have to step it up now, and I thought Chris Watt, the left guard, did a nice job pulling out and getting in front of Sierra Wood. Gets in the hole, kicks it out. Nice job with the pad level by Sierra Wood. Sliver.
Yeah, I was going to say he's slivered through the hole. We had the same thought. Reese looks one way, throws the other way, and throws an interception.
Can't throw blindly on screen. Max Holloway, who you've been talking about all day long, Tom. Really great play by Max Holloway, but Tommy Reese, you can't throw screen passes blindly.
And the turnover bug bites Tommy Reese again, as it has so often this season. First turnover today, right to Holloway. BC's ball when we come back.
Big fella, 6'3", 326 right here, sitting on the center, getting double teamed. You can't get there. What do? Find the alley and elevate. Nice job by Nick.
Third down and 3 coming up for the Eagles as the Kelly Cares pom-poms fly here at Notre Dame Stadium. And the Irish, big favorites today, find themselves in a real game. Riddick's pass drops. Swigert had it for a moment. He was sort of backpedaling and kind of behind him and could not hold on.
Yeah, but Swigert's going to kick himself later on this. They wanted him. They found him. It was a tough catch, but one which I believe he makes every day of the week. Notre Dame's bringing blitz. They're bringing 5. Free runner. It's tough because Darius Fleming was kind of in the line for Swigert, but you got to catch that football. He knows it.
So Quigley in punt formation again, punting to the nation's poorest punt return team. Goodman makes the fair catch at the 8-yard line. Once again, field position in favor of BC after that 33-yard Quigley punt.
And, you know, the key guy on defense is and always has been Luke Kuechly. 11 tackles already today. Needs 16 to become #1. Watch what kind of game he has. I keep saying it. When he sees it, he trusts it, and he pulls the trigger. Bang! Again, he sees it, gets some help from his defensive tackle, makes the play. This is the hook and lateral in the first half. These are great instincts, great eyes, and then the acceleration to make an easy tackle on Sierra Wood. And finally, look at this. Michael Floyd in the open field, track him down from behind. Pass coverage, drive, rip the ball away. It doesn't matter whether it's run game, pass game, or sideline to sideline. Kuechly is a great collegiate football player.
Here's Notre Dame. First possession is an attempted run by Sierra Wood. He's going to be stopped for a loss. And Luke Kuechly there, -4 on the carry. Kuechly, the marketing major, told us he's done with his core courses and will graduate a semester early.
Apaya right there gets the penetration, allowing Kuechly and his buddies to jump in there, Tom.
And Kuechly, of course, went to Cincinnati St. Xavier High School, and Brian Kelly was the coach at University of Cincinnati, UC at the time, but Kelly telling us he didn't think Kuechly was that interested in coming to UC. He didn't return many calls, was what Brian Kelly said.
Well, understand that years ago, Boston College head coach was Tom O'Brien, who's now at Virginia. He's a St. X grad.
Now it's North Carolina State.
I'm sorry, North Carolina State, right. And he was a St. Xavier grad, and he kind of opened the pipeline. BC's been getting great players there for a long time. Kuechly came, and now Sean Duggan, the outside linebacker, was hosted by Kuechly, and that pipeline continues that Tom O'Brien started years ago.
Third down and 7 for the Irish, deep in their own territory. Plenty of time for Reese. And he has to throw it away again because of that coverage.
Yep.
Nobody open. Throw it away, and a few smattering of boos from the senior day crowd here at Notre Dame Stadium.
Today has been all about coverage for Boston College. Great job dropping deep. Near side again. They're not letting anything intermediate or deep. They're forcing to throw the football up, and then they rally for the tackle.
Turk's punt from his own end zone. Swigert calls fair catch, makes it at the 49-yard line of the Irish. Good field position for Boston College. Punt covered 38 yards. Senior day, Notre Dame Stadium. The Irish leading Boston College 13-7 in the third quarter. 3:20 left. Notre Dame big favorites today, back in the top 25. BC has been hanging around and within 6 points here. No score yet in the third quarter by either team. Kimball gets about 5 yards on first down, staying on schedule. Harrison Smith the tackle. This is the second straight possession by BC to start in Notre Dame territory, but the Irish able to hold them to 3 and out on the other one. Swigert's in motion, resets. Here's Reddick. His pass wide of the target, which was Swigert.
Set your feet and make a throw. Again, he's got a big arm. He was a highly recruited kid. Now you've got to learn to convert into being a really good quarterback. Touch, accuracy, have the poise to set your feet and not hurry a throw like that.
Reddick made his BC debut against Notre Dame last year and threw a 58-yard touchdown pass from San Clemente High School in California, where he passed for 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns as a senior.
Big third down here because it forces a punt. They get another first down. They get into 4 down or field goal territory.
So on 3rd and 5, Reddick backpedals, delivers, pass high and incomplete, intended for Pantale. Pantale could not get high enough to get that one despite his 6'6" stature. And it looks like a 4th down punt for the Eagles again.
It was a blitz with Teo coming, who was picked up. But look at Lynch. He's just, the kid is relentless. Keep saying it, 6'5", 6'6", 265. The ability to bend, to get skinny through a hole, to get up through a gap and get pressure. The kid's special if he continues to work at his game.
Ryan Quigley. High punt. Goodman calls for the fair catch, makes it at the 10. Once again, Notre Dame backed up deep in their own territory by the foot of Ryan Quigley. Tomorrow, don't miss final round action of the President's Cup from Australia. Tiger Woods and Team USA battling Team International tomorrow at noon Eastern on NBC. At the end of today's action, the U.S. with a 13-9 lead on Team International, with that one day tomorrow left for singles competition. 13-9 U.S. heading to the final day.
Didn't the team captain of USA take a lot of heat for the Tiger Woods selection in that? And I knew he lost his first 2 matches, right?
Lost his first 2 outings. As they spot the ball back at the 9-yard line when Notre Dame takes over with a handoff to Wood. Wrestled down for no gain or perhaps a loss. Apia was the first on the scene, the redshirt freshman from Somerset, New Jersey, who has a couple of sacks, a forced fumble, a blocked kick this season. Alex?
Tom, just kind of taking notice of the atmosphere here down on the sideline. The crowd's still in this game, but it was such a special atmosphere here at the beginning of senior day. The Jonas Gray injury really, I think, it's played with the emotions of the Notre Dame players. Fairly flat here on the Notre Dame sideline.
And that kind of being reflected by the Notre Dame crowd now. That was a tough catch by T.J. Jones. Could have gone either way because Fletcher was right there to make a play on the football. But Jones won out with the reception just short of the first down.
Really good catch that time by T.J. Jones. But I'm telling you, Bill McGovern is pitching a masterpiece for the Boston College defense. Another 2-man rush. They're dropping 9. They're forcing the sophomore quarterback, who they know can't run. They're forcing him to make decisions with 8 and 9 in coverage.
Reese, quick toss, caught for the first down by Floyd. Well, that's the dependable pitch and catch. You need a couple of yards for the first down. If you're not up on Michael Floyd, just look out there, get him the ball, and pick up the first.
And that's right, Thomas. And they came with a blitz from the opposite side. Really heads-up play by Tommy Rees to go away from the blitz to one-on-one coverage at the bottom.
So the Irish keep that drive going. They advance the ball to the 23-yard line. Fake to Wood. Rees winds up, delivers downfield in traffic, and somehow the catch made by Robbie Toma. Over one defender, and then two bracketing Toma, but he makes the catch for 27 yards.
Tommy Rees throws a seam route extremely well. I thought Hampton Hughes had a chance to make a play now. Look at the safety back here. Thought he took an angle where if he had cut in front of that, I thought he had a chance to make a play. He goes behind. Great throw, really aggressive catch by Toma.
And so first down at midfield for the Irish. Sierra Wood, 3 yards.
Keekly, man, he goes everywhere. Wow.
What the coaches say, sideline to sideline. That's no exaggeration, is it?
It's the definition of sideline to sideline is Luke Keekly. You know, people have asked me all over the place, you know, who do you like better, Manti Te'o or Luke Kuechly? And what I try to tell them is they're both special, but they're different. I mean, Manti Te'o's 255, Kuechly's 235. They're different kinds of football players.
And as the third quarter ends, Kuechly has made 12 tackles through the first 3 periods. Notre Dame leads Boston College 13-7. Back after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. No score in the third quarter, so we head to the fourth with Notre Dame leading Boston College 13-7. With our producer Rob Hyland and director David Michaels, Tom Hammond, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan. Senior day at Notre Dame Stadium. Here's Sierra Wood. Sierra Wood down to the 43-yard line of Boston College. Notre Dame a substantial favorite today on Senior Day. They went out to a 10-0 lead. Really were dominating the game in terms of yardage. But Boston College able to hang around primarily due to the punting of Quigley, who 3 times pinned Notre Dame inside their 10-yard line. BC was able to get a touchdown, and that's where we stand as we start the fourth. Wood lowering his head, trying to get first down yardage. And the spot of the football, I think, will be just short.
And Tom, for me, outside of Quigley, I think the story of the game right now is the BC defense forcing the Notre Dame offense to be patient. And that's not something Brian Kelly likes to be. He wants to throw the ball around, get it down the field, and they're forcing that sophomore quarterback to learn some lessons. Look at this, 4th and very short. Here comes the punt team. You can hear the crowd reaction.
4th and less than a yard, but they elect to punt.
Wow.
By the way, the matchup of linebackers, Kuechly with 12 tackles and Te'o with 10 as we start the fourth quarter. Turks punt. Sails into the end zone untouched. That'll bring it out to the 20. And the fans a little correct, I think, to make their displeasure known. It looks like a 4th down and less than a yard to go in BC territory. I'm a little surprised that Coach Kelly elected not to go for it.
I'm surprised also, and I think he's saying it's a close game. We're not going to take any chances. However, once the coach makes that decision to punt, the execution of the punter cannot kick the ball into the air into the end zone.
What's the point? If you're going to punt it, there's no point.
You lose 20 yards in field position the minute you kick it into the end zone. So your punter's got to pick your coach up once you make that decision.
So BC, the crowd getting a little restless now as the Eagles take over at their 20. And a first down run made by Deuce Finch for 8 yards.
I don't know about you, Thomas, but I'm sensing some momentum shift towards Boston College. The defense is playing well. The special teams are playing well. They're running the football now. And if Reddick can make a throw, and again, he's had a couple of opportunities for big plays that he's missed. BC standing toe-to-toe with these guys.
Trips to the bottom of the screen on this second down play. And Bordner in at quarterback. And Notre Dame is pretty well versed on Bordner and the fact that he almost always runs because they've stopped him on most every occasion. That's Ethan Johnson and Sean Swinar up front for ND.
Yeah, really good job by Nix
too,
Swinar, and Teo. All the misdirection there. Nix did not go for it. He read his key, stayed at home, forced it back to Swinar. Really good team defense by Bob Diaco's guys.
Riddick back at quarterback for BC on this third down. Third down and a couple of yards.
Better locate Swigert and cover him.
Whistle will stop the play. Timeout, Boston College.
Timeout. Boston
So
College.
BC takes the timeout with 12:10 left in the game, down by 6. Facing a 3rd and 2, forced to take a timeout to prevent a delay of game. Their first timeout of the second half. And now this crucial 3rd down and 2. No, the whistles had already blown. That's no play.
Correct. And Jamar Slaughter got a free hit on the quarterback he probably shouldn't have had. And what they were trying to do was set up their tailback, Rolandon Deuce Finch, on a little wheel route.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 81. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down. Please reset the game clock to 12:10.
Pentelli with the false start, which ended up being beneficial for the Eagles. You could hear the whistles blow before the play ever developed, although Riddick did take the hit. So here we go now with 3rd down and 7.
So now it takes the element of the run game out, unless they play it very conservatively here, and they're going to force Riddick to throw the football.
Takes the handoff, throws the pass behind Amadon and incomplete. Gary Gray defending on the play. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, the free safety rotated the other way. It was a true one-on-one. No help down here. And they try to go back shoulder. Amadon sees it late and can't turn in time. Good coverage by Gary Gray. That was the right location for the throw. Just a disconnect with the quarterback and wide receiver.
So the 9th punt of the game for Quigley. And John Goodman draws a beat on it. Fair catch made at the 35-yard line. That was a 42-yard Quigley punt.
Fair catch. Those are off the 35.
Notre Dame football is brought to you by Add a Zero 5-star, 6.9 ounces, the lightest ever. By ADT Security Services, always there. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Discover Car, it pays to discover. Cheerleaders and the Leprechaun on Senior Day, some of them will be cheering their final game too, including the Leprechaun, who's always a senior. Floyd latches on to that one for 13 yards and an Irish 1st down.
Now I like what they're doing here. Move the pocket a little bit and let Floyd work one-on-one on Donnie Fletcher. Fletcher scared to death of his speed. Floyd alertly works back to the football. But Tom, I like him moving the pocket a little bit, giving him clear vision. Nice throw, nice catch.
8th of the game for Floyd. On 1st down, Reese with a toss. Sierra Wood. BC doing a better job in the second half defending the run by Notre Dame.
You're exactly right, Tom. And that time the defensive end, Kasim Edebali, did a nice job doing what they call setting the edge. Toss sweep to your side. You got to block the defensive end. If you don't, you can't run the play. See Edebali right over here, 91. Does a nice job forcing it back inside, and everybody else rallies for the football.
Toss to Floyd. Couldn't get a block. Reverses his field. Got one there from Wood. And now down the sideline. Big play from Michael Floyd, who improvised and takes it to the 35-yard line, a gain of 14.
BC does a great job at the point of attack, but you can't account for a great athlete. Here's the stack. Watch BC rally to the football front side, and now 6'3", 227. Toma gets a block. He accelerates. That is a huge play. And Tom, I'm a big believer in games like this. Your best player's got to step up and play, and that's Michael Floyd.
Sierra Wood. Again, it's tough running at the moment against the Eagle defense. A couple of yards.
Tom, if I'm Brian Kelly, here's what I'm thinking. I got a 6-point lead. BC's offense is not real good. We're going to probably do pretty well defensively if we continue to play that way. So worst case, I want to get in field goal range, protect 3 points, and make it a 2-possession game. I think that guy right there has done a phenomenal job game planning Tommy Reese.
Here is Reese. Has a man wide open, and it's Toma. Robbie Toma came free. Reese found him. Of course, some of that responsibility for playing it safe falls to Reese as well.
Yep. And there you clear it out. Bring Toma back underneath. Wide open. Working Fletcher's side. Tommy steps into it and puts it on him. And, you know, every time you throw the football at Robbie Toma, so far he's delivered.
Gain of 13. Now up the middle with Wood. So a safe pass and a safe run and protecting the chance to get a field goal if need be. In the meantime, trying to score the touchdown.
Absolutely. And I like the pass. And then you come back and Trevor Robinson gets a great block on a pull and seal. And now all of a sudden you're thinking 7 instead of 3. But again, Tom, I keep telling young quarterbacks, no sacks, no interceptions. Right. Worst case scenario, throw it in the 10th row and kick a field goal.
Or hand to Sierra Wood, who takes it to the 10-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down.
I think Brian Kelly's thinking the same thing. Run the football, high percentage pass game. Don't take the chances. Force Boston College offense to beat you, which is by far the worst part of the BC game.
The Red Hat Brigade signaling in the play from the Notre Dame sideline. There you see him.
Dangerous guy right there, Tyler Eifert. Red zone.
Oh, out of the hands of Michael Floyd. Incomplete.
That's a more dangerous guy.
Yeah.
Michael Floyd.
Right.
And he got, you know, I think he saw Hampton Hughes flashing. He took his eyes off the football. Here comes the corner blitz, which means it's a safety on Michael Floyd. That should be a mismatch. Floyd's got to catch the football first before he tries to make Hampton Hughes miss. Don't see that guy drop too many passes, Michael. You got to catch that football.
So here is the rougher field goal attempt, 27 yards. He's hit 2 already today on his last home appearance. And it is good. So David Ruffer adds to the Notre Dame lead. Now with 8:08 left in the game, 16-7 Irish. Which has been sort of adopted by the Notre Dame students and fans. Living on a Prayer, John Bon Jovi. At halftime, the band Chicago entertained, backed up by the Notre Dame band, the Band of the Fighting Irish, which is the best band in all of college footballdom, for my money. And so lots of entertainment here at the stadium on Senior Day.
And I guess Living on a Prayer appropriate for 2 Catholic universities.
Absolutely. We've just seen the first points of the second half scored, a rougher field goal, and now Brinza kicks off for Notre Dame. And he kicks it out of bounds again.
Wow. Can't do that.
That's twice in a row he's kicked it out of bounds, and it could have been 3 because Evans let it, fielded one right at the sideline. I think was going to go out of bounds too. So
yeah, our guy Spiffy. Now, Tommy Reese, to me, one of the best things he does, Tom, is like a good corner, a good quarterback doesn't have a memory. And since he's thrown that interception, which was a bad interception on the screen, he's 7 for 9 for 90 yards. One of them was a drop, one of those incompletions with Michael Floyd. And that's what I think Brian Kelly loves about this kid is his resiliency. Yeah, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you move on.
Never gets too high or too low, that's for sure. Very even-tempered. And 270 yards passing for him today. From the 40. Riddick fakes, throws, deflected and almost intercepted. Calabrese was in the middle of that one.
Mentioned the production at that position for Notre Dame. Carlo Calabrese, known as a run stopper, does a nice job getting a drop off the play action and feeling behind the deep crosser. Gets the hand on the football. That's a really good play for the kid from North Jersey that found a home here in South Bend.
So Chase Riddick now has missed his last 6 pass attempts. 2nd down and 10. Scrambling. And he does get something out of it and draws a flag on the hit by Teo.
We talked earlier in the game, Boston College made a big mistake on the sideline when Sylvia made a hit that was clearly out of bounds. This time, Teo, I know you're aggressive. I know you chased his tail down.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 5, defense, 15-yard penalty.
With defensive players, Tom, we all kind of feel like if he's still on the field of play, we can make a hit. He's clearly trying to get out of bounds, but at that point, you got to give up. It's a quarterback, and they're not going to allow you to get away with that.
No hesitation at all. The flag came out immediately.
Yep.
And so with the penalty and the gain, it's inside the Irish 40-yard line where the Eagles have a 1st down.
2 penalties because of the kickoff.
Right.
You know, so all of a sudden you've handed Boston College tremendous field position.
Riddick in desperation, backpedaling, fires it to Kimball, who makes the catch.
You can always tell a young quarterback, Tom, with footwork. The ones that have a lot of games under their belt understand when they can reset their feet and have the time. Now watch his feet as he starts to move. His feet were in no position to make a throw. His feet were going one direction, his arms going another. You can't throw the football accurately when your feet are going left, your arms coming across your body. Set your feet. Throw the football. He's had 2 or 3 of those today where if he just took his time and didn't panic, we'd be fine here.
They originally said catch, but after thinking about it, they ruled it incomplete, which appears was the correct call. Well, that was headed nowhere.
And if you're Notre Dame, you're saying we're pretty good here. Jamar Slaughter undercutting the route to Pantelli. Sets up a really important down or 2 here for Boston College. 3rd and 10. This is not their game plan, Tom.
3rd and 10 from the 39. You know, Coach Spaziani said they needed a hero to step up. This would be a good time, would it not?
You're exactly right.
Boston College has converted 3 of 12 1st downs in the game.
I would look at Swider and I would look at Taj Kimball, who's right here. Look for him sneaking out of the backfield, trying to get him isolated. Here they come.
Riddick hit as he throws an incomplete as the Notre Dame pressure forces an incompletion on 3rd down.
Tom, take a look what Bobby Diaco dials up here. There are nobody with their hands in the dirt. Look at all these guys. Nobody's in a 3-point, and here they come. 7 up, which 5 are coming. Good coverage in the secondary. Ball came out quickly. Good coverage by Gary Gray.
So 4th and 10, and BC will go for it.
Yeah, they're in no man's land, right? Down too far to kick a field goal. Down 2 possessions with only 7:20 left. You got to go for it here.
Riddick stands tall again under pressure as the ball zips by Amadon, his intended receiver, and the ball goes over to Notre Dame. They upped the pressure on Riddick, got to him several times there to disrupt the attack, if not get the sack, and Notre Dame's defense holds.
It's true freshman Troy Nicholas making the hit right there. And we keep talking about the impact of these freshmen that are front 7 guys, and it's Nicholas forcing the play.
Ball goes over to the Irish. Time for our Sprint Unlimited update. All football, all no limits. Luke Kuechly with 13 tackles today for the Boston College Eagles. The national leader, Jonas Gray, such an inspirational story his senior season. Left the game with a knee injury and tears on the Notre Dame sideline. And the field position battle has been won by Boston College today. It's helped keep them in the game. But with 7:15 to go, Notre Dame has just taken over on downs after the ND defense did a good job. They forced Chase Riddick to miss his last 10 pass attempts. Here's a Sierra Wood run on first down.
Yeah, Tom, we've spent a lot of time talking about Bill McGovern, the defense coordinator for BC, on that last series. I thought Bob Diaco did a great job. They've been playing a lot of coverage. That time they went pressure. Those last two plays, 3rd and 10 and 4th and 10, he brought pressure and forced the ball quickly out of the quarterback's hands, and it turned the football back over for the Irish.
Diaco in the shadows of the coach's box upstairs, calling the defenses. Right now gathering his thoughts as the Irish take over on offense under 7 minutes. Notre Dame looking for its 8th victory of the season. Sierra Wood. 2 yards, tough yards, short of the first down.
Notre Dame's in their pistol offense, which is what they get into when they want to run the football downhill. Sierra Wood behind Tommy Reese, and they want to run time off the clock and shorten this game as much as they can. My dad told me years ago, Tom, there are no style points in football, right? It's about wins and losses, and I think that's what Brian Kelly's thinking about right now.
Caught by Michael Floyd.
Percentage throw. Adebali comes off the line of scrimmage and who's a defensive end and allows the throw to the wide receiver Floyd.
So 10 receptions for Floyd, closing in on 100 yards. And the 1st and 10 line brought to you by Xerox. Already has the record for most 100-yard receiving games in Notre Dame history. Looks like he might be adding another. And here he is.
2 penalties on the play. 2 penalties. The first one's going to be on Notre Dame because they weren't set when the ball was snapped. And then the second one will be an interference on the back end.
42-yard Floyd reception that apparently is going to be wiped out.
They were trying to quick snap it, and they weren't set offensively, which is the first penalty. Either way, it'll have to come back.
There are 2 fouls on the play against the offense. Illegal motion, number 3. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 3. That penalty will be accepted, 15 yards.
Double bubble there, Michael Floyd. Floyd out here. They're going to snap the ball quickly. He's moving as they do it. And then the offensive pass interference as he pushes the defensive back, the freshman Espria. Really doesn't need to. Espria's 5'10", 170. Just use that big body. But either way, it comes back.
See the penalties in the game. Pretty even. First down and 25 now for Tommy Reese. The clock approaching 5.5.
And I hate to be predictable, but if you're Tommy Reese, think about game situations and understand no interceptions. It's only first down. You got plenty of time. You just got 5 back.
A couple of the defensive linemen for BC flinched, causing
False start.
Yes, causing
offense,
movement.
number 82. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
They called Alex Welch for that. All he did was flinch when the defensive end across from him moved.
Right.
But since the defensive lineman's not in the neutral zone, he's got to stay. Yep. He's got to stay solid. 1st and 30, Tom.
1st and 30. So see if they try to just chip away at it. And they do to Wood.
That's the proper call. Keep running the clock. Low risk passing game and the run game. And if you punt, you punt. It's a 2-possession game, and BC thus far has not shown any explosiveness on offense.
I know that sign there from Brian Kelly. Did you see on the sideline kind of saying, all right, just settle down. We're okay.
Right? Don't panic. No
We're
sacks,
okay. We're
no
all right.
interceptions. Yeah, we're good, man. Conversely, BC's got to get after him. Tommy Reed's doing a good job running the clock down.
Milking it on every possession.
Pistol formation. That's a run game formation. Perhaps play action.
To the 40 is Wood. Another 4-yard gain. And 4.5 on the clock. Stops momentarily for the first down, and then Boston College stops it with a timeout. There was no first down, of course. It's still a long way to go.
Yep.
So 4:37 left. Timeout Boston College. 16-7 Indy. 4:37 on the clock. Boston College down to its final timeout now. And Notre Dame up 16-7. Looking for victory number 8. Wood. Continuing to play it safe.
What did we say there during the break, Tom? You know, draw, screen, high percentage, something. Just keep the clock running.
Ben Turk will come on 4th down. Meanwhile, letting that clock go down as far as it can to 4 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, when you're a big underdog, you have a very small margin for error, and there's just been little things throughout the game where BC didn't take advantage of opportunities.
And Notre Dame has taken a timeout with 3:49 on the clock. And the Irish, the big favorites today, broke on top 10-0, but let BC stay in the game, and actually BC had some opportunities to do something.
Yeah, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, opportunities are opportunities. I thought they've done a great job on their special teams, but on defense, Donnie Fletcher, you had a chance to make an interception. That turned into a field goal. Again, an opportunity to make a big play on defense. Long pass, wide open, Swigert, you got to hit him. And again, a deep ball, Gary Gray gets beat, Amadon has it, and he overthrows him. The drop 3rd down to Swigert. Little things, not one glaring thing, but those little opportunities when you're a big underdog, they'll either make you or break you. And so far today, Boston College has not made the plays when they've had opportunities.
So Turk will punt, and Swigert is deep. Notre Dame only got 7 yards gained in that possession, but did run off nearly 3.5 minutes from the clock. Here's Swigert. Slipped and is pinned short of the 30-yard line. Next Saturday, don't miss one of college football's classic rivalries and the traditional Battle of the Bands as Grambling takes on Southern in the State Farm Bayou Classic next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern, only on NBC.
And that's a game where you got to watch the whole thing. Plus, you got to stay glued at halftime.
That's right.
Because they're kicking it pretty good at halftime. No Notre Dame defenders in 3-point stances.
And here's Finch. Deuce Finch. Nice run on first down as Notre Dame expects the pass. Takes it to the 44-yard line for a 16-yard jaunt on first down. But the clock is their enemy at the moment, and now down to 3.5.
BC has to score twice. So you got to hurry up, call 2 plays, and go.
Riddick fires a bullet. Caught by Pantelli to the 35-yard line for 21.
I thought this is his best throw of the day. As he clears Teo, watch him hook right in behind Teo. Beautiful timing. He stepped into it. You could see the big arm. Love that throw right there.
So suddenly BC at the 35 of Notre Dame, who come with a blitz. Backpedaling, Riddick able to find his receiver Finch from the backfield.
Now, I thought Finch was going to have to stay in because they've got a huge blitz coming. Notre Dame, they bring 6 guys. Look at all these. Nobody is in a 3-point stance. Here comes Teo, edge pressure, but a great job this time of Redding keeping his poise, keeping his eyes down the field, and hitting Finch wide open for a big play.
Valuable time here ticking away. now official timeout for an injured player. It's Finch.
Spaziani, Coach Spaz, of course, wants to know how come so many seconds ran off the clock while there was an injured player down.
Before they stopped it, they should have stopped it immediately.
And remember, we're not in there's no kind of runoff or anything. We're not in that area of the game yet. So Finch makes the catch. Consecutive big plays by Boston College, kind of like at the end of the first half when they spread the field, started to throw the ball, make some plays.
Of course, the Notre Dame fans and Coach Kelly think, hey, you think that was real?
So they wind the clock.
Well, they should.
Yeah, there it goes. Yep. A little delay there.
Well, after missing 10 in a row, Reddick has hit 2 straight for 38 yards. Let's see if he stays hot. Draw play. That was Kimball. Now the no huddle from BC.
They've got to get up on the field and get their wide receiver set. Taking too long right now. Kimball wants to know where the play is.
Riddick for the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Swigert, who got one hand on it, but that was all.
I think Swigert saw that late, and Bob Diaco was bringing all kinds of heat, but I thought that was a heck of a throw. Here's Swigert. I don't think he sees the football as he clears Blanton because it hit him right in the left hand. Watch this. Left hand bounces away, couldn't get the right hand up. I think he thought Blanton had pass interference, but let me tell you something, young man. There's 3 really good throws in a row by you.
Could have been pass interference on Blanton.
There could have been, Tom.
2:13 now on the clock. 3rd down and 8 for BC. Rig under pressure. Lets it go.
There it is.
And it's incomplete.
Yep.
There's the flag. Zeke Mata for interference on Swigert, who tried to come back. The underthrown ball. And the interference called.
Yeah, Mata was beat on this, and the quarterback Reddick couldn't get enough air under it because he got hit on the blitz. But a good job by it. Now watch what happens off the edge. Here comes Blanton off the edge, off his back foot. This ball's underthrown. Now Mata was beat, and when you're beat, you get panicked. Watch here. He's beat. So what's he do? He doesn't know where the football is, doesn't find it. And if you don't turn around and find the football, they're going to throw that flag every time. You got to turn around and find the football, or I promise you that flag will be pulled and thrown. That is correct.
BC now with 1st and goal, but only 2:08 on the clock.
Yeah, every second is precious here. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to spread the field, even though it's the 2-yard line. They got to score now, and they've had their most success in the spread. We go with a tight bunch. With a heavy, this tight bunch here and a halfback here. That's way overload. Look for pick plays and a sprint out.
And now stopped. False start by BC.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, touchdown.
Ian White, false start, 5-yard step off against BC when they had it at the 2-yard line.
You got to hold your water when the pressure's on and people are screaming and yelling. They want to sprint to the left, and it's just a little bit of a twitch there. I thought that was close.
So now back at the 7-yard line. Costly BC penalty.
Doesn't change anything. You've got to throw this football in the end zone, in my opinion. The clock is your enemy.
1st and goal. 7 yards out.
Same set. Last time they sprinted left.
Sprinting left. Riddick delivers to Tall back through the end zone, intended for Larmond. Incomplete. Slaughter was with Larmond. Threw it away. Now 2:04 on the clock.
Really good coverage by everybody, but here's the coverage on Larmond in the slot. Good inside position by Jamar Slaughter, and what I liked is he went hip to hip, meaning he was on the inside hip, and when the out-breaking route occurred, he rotated to the outside without any kind of pass interference. That was really well done.
Yeah, really well done as the drummer breaks his drumstick by Notre Dame's defense. Riddick heaves to the end zone and a touchdown to Swigert. Well, on this drive, we have seen that big arm that you've talked about from Chase Riddick. A couple of times he really drilled it. And that time Swigert able to latch on to it for the touchdown.
Yeah, and Swigert uses his body here, which is what I like when the ball's in the air. He's going to body up Blanton, who's too deep in the end zone, won't let him come back through him, and that's just a good throw and touch with timing involved.
So Freeze for the extra point. And it is good. Good looking drive by BC. Riddick at 3 of 5 on the drive, including the touchdown for 48 yards total. And BC now down 16-14. That's Nate Freeze, number 58, the place kicker, or number 85, I should say. The place kicker who normally does not kick off. Normally it's Ryan Quigley. So Freeze on, no doubt, to attempt an onside kick. Redshirt sophomore who was a freshman All-American a season ago. Freeze.
This is just a fun football game between two great institutions, and it all comes down right here to an onside kick.
First, Notre Dame will call a timeout. Well, last night Iowa State, though they were playing at home, a similar underdog to Oklahoma State, and the more they were able to hang around, the more confidence they got. And here's Boston College on the road at Notre Dame, their big rival, able to hang around, and now just down 2 with less than 2 minutes on the clock.
Tom, you and I talked before the game about how emotional college football can be. And I really believe that if a team emotionally is not at their peak, a heavy underdog like a Boston College, you couldn't win. This is their bowl game.
Nothing to lose. Yeah.
This is the first time in 13 years that Boston College will not go to a bowl game. So this is it. This is it for Coach Spaziani and his team. And meanwhile, Notre Dame has had a couple of body blows today. There's one of them. Jonas Gray goes out with apparently an ACL.
On the sideline with his crutches now. Tears streaming down his face. So many teammates came over, and you could just feel the energy leave the stadium all at once with that injury, because he had been such an inspirational player. So BC hangs around, and now with a minute 57, they'll attempt the onside kick.
They're not sure which way he's going to kick this, so they're set up with a balanced set, 2 in the middle and 4 on either side of the hashes, and they're all rotating, waiting to see which way he's going to go.
Freeze wants to get a big bounce. Can't. Latched onto by Robbie Toma. Toma was able to snag it. It never hit the ground. So Robbie Toma ready for the onside kick and makes the catch to give Notre Dame the ball.
I think next August I'm going to have a conversation with Coach Kelly about number 9, Tom. What do you think? I mean, that was kind of simple. It was an easy Sunday hop. But the kid, every time he's had an opportunity, he makes plays. And he did it again tonight.
Boston College has only 1 timeout left. Down by 2 with 1:55 on the clock. Tommy Reese hands off to Sierra Wood.
Tom, people might say, well, why are they in shotgun? You know, why don't they get under center? And, well, think back to USC. When you're not used to being a shotgun team and you get under center. So you do what you are in critical situations. Stay who you are. Snap it. They're in the pistol. Run the football. And if nothing bad happens, you win a football game.
Even though Coach Kelly tells us they practice snaps under center every day in practice. Remember, you've got Mike Golick Jr. now, the center too, and you know how many times he's been able to work with Tommy Reese in the snap under center.
Right,
so
exactly.
Do what you're used to doing and have done well. And Golick has done a good job, by the way, snapping the football and blocking as well in his second career start.
1 timeout down there at Boston
College. Wood stacked up the line of scrimmage.
Golick kind of lit up our meeting room, didn't he, yesterday?
Oh, we enjoyed talking to him. He has the gift of gab. I guess he inherited that as well as the football ability from Papa.
Well,
Golick Sr.
He said his mom was a rock star. Anybody knew would know that. But when he started talking about coming after the Wake Forest game, when he played with the injury to Braxton Cave, and the moment he and his father had, you could just see the love that he had for both his parents, and I thought it was pretty cool talking to the kid.
Grew up surrounded by Notre Dame paraphernalia, Notre Dame lore. His dad played here, of course, and then in the NFL. There's his dad, Mike Sr., with a big laugh. The radio and television man, which Mike Jr. says he would like to imitate as well.
I told him to stay away from me because he'd take my job in a heartbeat.
Mike Jr. did tell us that, to start with, he was much smarter and much more handsome than his dad. Said his dad did have better hair.
That's right. That's right.
Timeout taken by the Eagles with 15 seconds on the clock.
And remember, it's 4th down. Now you've got to make a decision.
There's Mike Jr., by the way.
Yeah, Mike Jr. And if you're Brian Kelly, you've got 4th and 4. If I'm Brian Kelly, I'm punting the football. You know, there's 15 seconds. I'm not going to take a chance in running around and trying to run the clock off or any of those kind of things. I'm going to protect my punter and kick it down there, and hopefully the game will end one play later.
Well, no surprise that Notre Dame and Boston College, despite the odds makers, have played a close game. That's usually the way it works out. And by the way, on this last drive, Sierra Wood has gone over 1,000 yards rushing for the season.
And congratulations to him. That kid has really had a great year. And when Jonas Gray came on, it just made them better.
So Turk is out to punt.
Now, if you're Boston College, you got to come get this thing. There's nothing else here.
Swigert will be deep. Turk, line drive, booming it right into the end zone. Blown dead with 8 seconds left, and BC will get it at the 20.
That'll be a touchback at the 20.
Well, senior day proved to be a tough task for the Irish. But barring a huge play here by the Eagles, they're going to get win number 8 and send the seniors off with a victory.
There's the captain of the team, and this year they only had one captain on a permanent basis and then game captains each week. And Harrison Smith is a young man, a 5th-year senior that I have as much respect for as anybody in the country. I think he's a special kid that turned into a heck of a football player.
Irish will lose 6 5th-year senior scholarship players and 7 4-year seniors with no eligibility remaining. Notre Dame takes its final timeout. Took a look at what they suspected Boston College might try and called a timeout. And Notre Dame will also have 14 4th-year seniors with eligibility remaining. Now, how it works at Notre Dame is you can apply for a 5th year, another year of eligibility. Some will choose to apply, some may not, and then the university chooses whether or not to allow them to have that 5th year. So there are 14 in that situation here at Notre Dame, and there's Dane Christ, who is one of those. And the speculation, of course, has been rampant about whether Dane might choose to play his final year somewhere else with the logjam of quarterbacks that the Irish currently have.
And keep in mind, if he does want to transfer, it doesn't just have to be the 1AA like Joe Flacco did from Pitt to Delaware. He can go anywhere in the country and be available to play day one because he's a college graduate.
He will graduate in December. So barring a penalty, here's the final play. Reddick throws it underneath. There's the lateral. Try to make another lateral on the ground. Game over. Well, not yet, maybe. They picked. So the rugby imitation ends. And so does the game. So the game will end on that note. Zeke Mata gets credit for the last stop. And as we said, it was not easy for Notre Dame today. They came in on senior day big favorites over Boston College, which had won only 3 games. But true to the tradition of this rivalry, it was a close contest, and the Irish able to prevail by 16-14 and send the seniors off with a victory. The winning coach, Brian Kelly, is with us.
Coach, so much of this game came down to the onside kick. You guys take a timeout. What'd you tell your team then?
Well, we just wanted to make sure we had the right guys and personnel. We've lost a lot of guys, and making sure we just had the right personnel on the field.
One of the guys that you lost is Jonas Gray, your senior running back. What will you say to him after this game?
Yeah, it's just so disappointing that we've lost such a great kid that has done so many things for us lately, and just one of those things. The game of football sometimes is cruel, and that's a tough one for him.
A much harder fought game, I'm sure, than you expected. What were they able to do to you? It seemed like they forced you to be really patient on offense.
Well, they're good. They're a good, solid defensive team. They showed that in the last few weeks, and we knew it was going to be a battle. BC plays their very best, and hats off to them. They played well, but our guys found a way in the second half to keep battling. Our defense came up strong when they needed to.
Thanks, Coach. And Tom Stanford up next.
All right, and imagine the thoughts of the seniors now as they stand for the alma mater, Notre Dame, our mother, for the final time this season. So Notre Dame wins its home finale and now head to play Stanford for the final game of the 2011 campaign. They go there with 8 wins and 3 losses in a season that could have been even better.
And in football, in all sports, you are what you are, and they're an 8-3 football team right now. But I've never seen a season with more bizarre singular plays that affected the outcomes of games. And they started out the year 0-2. They could have packed it in. They didn't. And they now have a huge game next week against Stanford.
So Notre Dame ends at home with a victory, 16-14 over Boston College. For Brian Kelly's full press conference, go to NBCSports.com. Tomorrow, Sunday night, is football night. The Eagles head to New York to face the Giants. Bob Costas hosts Football Night in America beginning at 7 Eastern. Coming up tonight at 11:30, 10:30 Central, it's an all-new Saturday Night Live with host Jason Siegel. Notre Dame wins by 2 on Senior Day to beat Boston College. For Mike Mayock and Alex Flanagan,